following is a special presentation of Digital Horizons, the leader in sports highlights entertainment.
Digital Horizons is going to open up, and fans, as always, make as much noise as you can through the opening intro. Here we go together, everybody now, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the International Wrestling Cartel. Our fans, our roster, in unison, have reached our boiling point.
And me, Joe Dombrowski, I've reached my boiling point 2. Get it? See what I did there?
Yes, this is IWC Boiling Point 2 from the Court Time Sports Center in Elizabeth, PA.
This is our opening attraction of Boiling Point 2. Introducing to you first, weighing at 260 pounds, a member of the Unholy Alliance, Radford.
I am Joe Dombrowski, joined temporarily by referee Bryce Remsburg.
Holler!
And later on tonight, we will crown a brand new guaranteed IWC Heavyweight Champion after the controversy surrounding War Games just 5 weeks ago. But before that happens, Dean Radford, a member of the Unholy Alliance himself, is in the ring set for action.
You can feel a certain something in the air, Dombrowski. Tonight, someone is going to leave Elizabeth with the IWC Heavyweight Championship. Guaranteed 100% new champion tonight.
And a guy that's got to be upset he wasn't included in that field of 8, a former champion in his own right. Dean Radford is in the ring awaiting his opposition.
And introducing his opponent from Huntington Beach, California, weighing at 180 pounds, our property, Jason Page.
Hold on, I have a phone call. Wait a second. Hello? Oh, Joe, it's 2003. They want this song back.
Well, be that as it may, Jason Cage has certainly risen to the occasion as one of the top future prospects on the IWC roster. A very spirited effort from Mr. Cage at No Excuses 2 this past month against DeeeeLicious Jimmy DeMarco.
All right.
Cage hoping to build from that, but he's looking right into about 6'4", 260 of, use an old phrase, a walking condominium, so to speak.
Yes. But
and the crowd already getting on the
again.
case.
This is a Bush League referee and a Bush League human being, this Stephen Coulter. But anyway, that's nothing new for Jason Cage to be across the ring from much larger men. It's something he's used to, and he knows, like I'm sure all these fans are going to figure out, not backing down. He needs to utilize his speed because Radford has the power advantage, the size advantage, the strike advantage, everything. Look at that. Just like I was saying.
Cage baits Radford in beautifully from the outset to hit that dragon whip, and now he starts to hit and run.
Going to take more than 2 clotheslines to knock Radical Dean Radford down. Big drop kick through the ropes he goes. Still on his feet though. Cage, no stranger to take into the air, as these fans in Section D are going to find out. Section C.
Cage going high roll with a tope, wiping out all the chairs. Radford lands back first, very awkwardly on the edges of several of those chairs, which increases the impact.
Not wasting any time, getting the crowd in Elizabeth all riled up here. How's he gonna have to take it back to the ring? Crisp right hand on the floor.
I'll tell you, it's a raucous crowd here tonight on the heels of that No Excuses matchup.
Yeah, that was crazy.
On the heels of War Games, this crowd's still rabid from the chaos they saw. And Radford outpowers Cage, and you can see the ring post literally move when Cage's lower extremities collided with it.
Lower extremities is a nice way of saying nuts, and I think one of each was split between that ring post. Not a pleasant experience for any man in this room.
Well, we talked about Dean Radford being upset. Certainly the balance of power between the Unholy Alliance and the IWC shifted sharply in the favor of the International Wrestling Cartel after War Games. Unholy Alliance trying to regroup, trying to get that championship back later tonight. Radford would have loved to be included, but for some reason he was not selected. You can judge your own conclusions there as Radford, vicious leg drop from the second rope into the cover, 2 and no.
Well, that makes every match that the Unholy Alliance participates in all the more important. They're definitely reeling after Team IWC's win in War Games. So this a big victory would be needed here for Dean Radford. But the Unholy Alliance has 2 guys in the tournament, Joe and HENTAI.
Correct.
That's 2 out of 8.
Look out here, Dean Radford, 260 gonna fly. Dean Radford, amazing agility for a man his size, buries the elbow right into the heart.
And he's to blame. Right through the heart.
2 and only a count of 2.
Jason Cage not dead yet, though, showing signs of life. Trying to rally the troops.
Got to make one more mention of that referee, Stephen Coulter, obviously on the take in the pocket of the Unholy Alliance.
Yeah.
A weasel stooging IWC wrestlers off to the Athletic Commission. He's no good, and that spinebuster, no good for Jason Cage either.
And now that CJ started wrestling again, it's just me and him alone in the referee locker room. Me, him, and his 3 nipples.
I'm not going to even ask about that. And Radford.
Wait, he's pulling him up there. That's the questionable tactics out of Dean Radford. Always want to try to win the match at your earliest opportunity. This might come up and bite him in the tuchus.
Well, Radford certainly feels like he's on a higher level of competition than Jason Cage, but he may be in for a rude awakening. Cage has surprised in IWC before. He very well could now touch Radford off with a pass. Overhead sunset flip. Can he get all that weight down?
Nope, grabs him by the goozle there.
Oh, there's that power edge again.
Oh.
Right up over the shoulder. Eradicator. Check out the spin. 2, and that'll be all. Dean Radford is the victor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for 1 fall, and it is our fatal 4-way tag team attraction. And the contestant for the IWC Tag Team Championships.
The IWC Tag Team Division hotter and heavier than perhaps ever before in recent months. And these 4 teams are to blame, and we're about to see former tag team champions about to emerge through that curtain.
Introducing first team number 1 at a total combined weight of 460 pounds. The team of Ricky and Marshall, the Gambino Brothers.
And you can see the noticeable attribute that's been on the Gambinos in recent months, that focus and determination on the faces of Marshall of Bull leading the way around ringside. Nice guy Mickey accompanying him as well. The Gambino Brothers Moving Company had about a 6-7 month reign as tag team champions, looking to regain the gold here tonight in a crazy 4-way tag team matchup. We know what this music means. One of the most unexpected tag teams I have ever seen in my career. Rivals for over a year and a half. Rivals since before they were even officially a part of this business when they were training. Now, tag team partners and contenders.
Introducing team number 2 at a total combined weight of 395 pounds. As scored by their manager Radford, the team of Jason Gory and Shiima.
And the one man I'm going to be keeping my eye on in this contest, as much as, if not more so than the competitors, is going to be the prophet of profit, Chris Maverick, manager and advisor of Shiima Xion, and now by default of Jason Gory as well, now that they're partners. You saw Maverick slapping hands, but didn't seem to be too happy about it, much judging by the look on his face. Maverick cost Team Catfish, Shiima, Xion, Jason Gory a matchup last month thanks to hairspray in the eyes of Jason Gory, but he's denied it ever since. Is Maverick really a part of this tag team? Does he really have their best interests in mind? Or is he out for selfish motives? Is he out to keep Shiima, Xion all to himself? Hopefully we'll get some questions answered about that in this contest. Maverick looks very serious, very determined. And here's the team that made their return to IWC just 1 month ago.
Introducing team number 3 at a total combined weight of 469 pounds. The team of Justin Idol, Eric Ecstasy,
Ecstasy. Eric Ecstasy spent almost 2 years away from the IWC to, well, rediscover himself and his true, well, orientation, so to speak. Came back with new tag partner Justin Idol. It looks like Idol is perfectly happy being Eric's tag team partner, but not so much being his partner in life. I talked to Justin Idol earlier tonight. He is definitely not swinging that way. Idol is he's as straight as they come, but I think Ecstasy might be trying to, well, change him. Idol wants to be a tag team champion, but he certainly does not want to be of the same lifestyle Ecstasy has. That's Eric Ecstasy in a nutshell right there. These 3 teams are the title contenders, about to see the defending champions. I think Ecstasy upset that Idol's not wearing pink again. But be that as it may, the Cleveland Mafia, the reigning tag team champions, on their way to the ring momentarily, and the odds are certainly against them in this match.
And ladies and gentlemen, team number 4 at a total combined weight of 497 pounds from Cleveland, Ohio, the reigning IWC Tag Team Champions, the Cleveland Mafia.
3 challenging teams, only 1 set of champions. The odds are not in the favor of Raymond Rowe and J-Rocc, the Big Daddy of Destruction, in walking out with the tag team titles around their waists as they are now. J-Rocc certainly no short of confidence, but will that be enough? See all 3 challenging teams eyeing each other up, preparing themselves for what's about to happen, and this is going to be an out-of-control war. No sense in even masking it. This is going to be an uncontrollable riot. You got 3 teams who desperately want more than anything to be atop the mountain here in IWC, and 1 team desperate to remain there. Look at the different personalities out here. You got the egos of the Cleveland Mafia. You got the ambiguity of Ecstasy and Idol.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed by promoter Norm Connors, this contest will be contested under elimination rules, and it will be a fatal 4-way scramble.
Oh, but if it wasn't chaotic enough before, it just got a hell of a lot more difficult to control. I guess Bryce Remsburg, Norm Connors washing their hands in this as far as legal tags. But you have the egotism of the Cleveland Mafia, you have the ambiguity of sexual harassment, the mean streak of the Gambinos, and the youth of Team Catfish. 4 contrasting styles to be involved in this matchup. And now the question is, who's going to start this matchup? Bryce Remsburg trying to keep 2 in and 6 out, which is easier said than done, as Justin Idol and Jason Gory square off center ring to start out this matchup. Deep collar and elbow tie-up. Both guys trying to get the advantage, but neither man does. Guys starting out rather tentatively. They know the stakes here. And you see once again Chris Maverick out at ringside, intently watching both of these teams. We've seen Maverick out here scouting matches involving the Gambinos and sexual harassment in the past. Now my question is, if Maverick was happy with having Jason Gory added to his stable, why would he be scouting future tag teams? As it's Joe Dombrowski ringside, now joined by Chuck Roberts, as certainly with scramble rules in effect, this matchup is going to be even wilder than we had thought.
No, exactly right, Joe. When we started, it was going to be one fall, and then Norm comes over and tells me we're not going to do one fall. And that's the way we do it here in IWC. Unpredictable. And man, I'm sorry, Joe, I'm talking too much, because if you blink, we might miss a fall.
Both men attempt a drop kick, come up in a standoff. It's very interesting elimination rules now. There's going to be 3 pinfalls or submissions in this matchup. You're not going to see people constantly breaking up the covers. You're going to see some decisive winners and losers in this tag team title match.
You definitely will, and this is probably the best, if you notice, Joe, in quite some time as far as the tag team division is concerned. I don't know if you said it already, so if I'm repeating, I apologize. But you have right there probably at one point in time in that ring the 4 best tag teams in all of IWC, I venture to say, in a long time.
Well, certainly you can make the case for that. Marshall Gambino, former tag champion, Eric Ecstasy, former multi-time tag champion, squaring off in the ring, and it remains to be seen exactly how successful this new sexual harassment dynasty will be with, well, there's another version of a standoff. You have Ecstasy, who, well, there's no mistake about it. Oh, they're tired. No mistake about where Ecstasy stands on the orientation side of the fence. But I don't think Justin Idol's too interested in being much more than a tag partner.
I heard him say in the ring, after his partner Eric took his jacket off, of Justin that is, I heard him say, I think my tag team partner's a little weird. I said, I knew that years ago.
Yeah. Don't tell me Justin Idol hasn't realized the secret yet. Wait a second, Shiima drops down with the crystal pistol, drives Mickey's face right into the canvas. So look out for a takeoff. Scramble rules, no tags necessary as long as 2 men are in the ring.
Well, not only was that a nice move by Shiima on Mickey, but it was also intimidating, literally rubbing his face in it, if you will, on the canvas by the bottom of your foot. Another great reason why you and I are out here and not in the ring.
That's absolutely right. And I mentioned this a moment ago, but think about the disadvantage the Cleveland Mafia have here as far as walking away with tag team titles. They have 3 different oppositions. They've only got a 25% chance of victory.
You're exactly right. And I heard J-Rocc earlier, trust me, he's not making it any secret. He is not pleased with this contest here tonight. He hasn't been pleased for the past 6 weeks when he knew this match was coming. But I have to tell you, now, what's
I gotta call this, Chuck, it's Submission Impossible by Shiima Xion.
What was that? Head scissors into a hammerlock is what it looked like, Joe.
Wait a second, look out from behind, Ray Rowe. Look out!
Oh no!
Suplex machine drops Xion right square on his head. Belly to belly, overhead. Gory flew about 10 feet in the air. Idol, look out! Sent for a loop. Can anybody stop this Mack truck called Ray Rowe?
I don't know if he's going to have an easy time here with Marshall. Look out!
Oh no, that's 280. That's 280 at least. Overhead effortlessly.
Wait a second, but now you have a standoff by the 2 biggest men in this match, Eric Ecstasy and Ray Rowe.
Straps are down. Ecstasy is a good 250 or 60 himself.
I tell you what, right now, you don't see Eric Ecstasy where.
Oh, God.
I stand corrected. I didn't think he was worried about orientation. I thought he was actually standing face to face and worrying about his opponent.
Well, look
Wait
out.
a second.
Look out. Dear God, compressing the vertebrae.
I haven't seen anything like that since those lousy backyard wrestling tapes. Holy cow.
I think Ray Rowe has found a counter to Ecstasy's mind games. It's called a concussion.
I have to tell you right now, and you know, J-Rocc is no slouch himself, but I have to tell you, Ray Rowe might be, it's a pair 6.
Oh, they found out the strategy to fight Ray Rowe off. 4-on-1, he still shrugs them off.
Holy cow, what a Ray Rowe we're seeing here tonight, Joe.
It's like Andre the Giant in a battle royal. They can't get this guy down.
My goodness. It took 5, I can't tell who in the ring, how many right now, 4 or 5 guys to get Ray Rowe, who, by the way, he almost went down on wobbly legs. He wasn't really propelled outside.
And now all hell breaking loose.
Oh, no.
Look out, Mickey, right over a fan. Idol with a twisting somersault plancha. Chris Maverick not happy, trying to shout instructions to Jason Gory, as the stakes of this matchup have raised pretty high and in a hurry, Chuck.
How in the world can referee Bryce Remsburg try to keep order in him? I guess in a scramble you're not supposed to keep order.
Watch Gory! Moonsault collision with everybody.
Wait a second, now Shiima. Looks like it's his turn, but Maverick's stopping him, Joe.
The most dangerous flyer in the business. Xion's damn near ended lives, including his own, with his high-risk move. Oh, no.
15 feet up high in the air. Look out!
Corkscrew plancha.
What a testament to the stars of IWC, putting their body, their health, and actually their lives on the line for these fans here at the Court Time Sports Center.
What momentum and what impact from Shiima Xion, the future of fashion. I cannot believe the grace of that aerial move.
Wait a second. Oh, I thought Marshall was going to attempt some type of aerial move to the outside, but as you called, 260 pounds, he might want to stay grounded.
Certainly, that's not playing to Marshall's strength. Marshall administers the power game. Look out, like this. Powers J-Rocc over the top, and J-Rocc does the work for Marshall.
And J-Rocc was dumped over the top, as Gorilla Monsoon used to say, like yesterday's news. Holy cow.
Marshall, Gambino, and Shiima Xion, the only ones in the ring, the only ones alive at this point.
Joe, it's tough to tell from our vantage point. I know there are bodies down on the floor.
Oh, Lord Lariat.
That might be all right there. Shiima might be out of it. As I said, it's tough to tell from our vantage point. Now it looks like these guys are getting back up on the apron.
Unbelievable flurry of offense.
Wait a minute, a tag. Marshall didn't suspect a tag like that, but Ray Rowe took it upon himself. If you want to win the tag team belts, though, I guess you know what they say, Joe. If you're going to do the job, you do it best yourself.
Right. Tags are not required, but they are certainly allowed in this matchup. Double team backbreaker coming up. Bends Xion's body across J-Rocc's knee. It looks like the Cleveland Mafia taking matters into their own hands. Powerbomb across the knee.
And you know what's, hold on here.
Cover attempt and no.
2 count only. You know what's great about J-Rocc and Ray Rowe? Both very, as you know, Joe, they're both very accomplished wrestlers in single competition, have been for years. Here in IWC, they decided to join forces, and I have to tell you, it might be just a couple more weeks, a couple more shows, but I think only time is going to tell. These two might be the best tag team in the history of IWC.
Oh, they're very well on pace to prove that. Look at the power! He just wheeled him overhead like Iron Sheik's Persian clubs. Can you believe that?
The Persian clubs, no. I didn't believe it when I saw it, and I still don't today.
My God, Ray Rowe just picked the man up by the throat and swung him over his head.
Well, that's a close to, please, don't let that card, that man's close to 275 pounds. If you stand up next to Ray Rowe up close, you know how just big and strong he is. And we know Shiima, Shiima being tossed like a rag doll, just can't match the size of some of these guys.
And Chris Maverick very upset that Shiima Xion getting hurt. Finally tells Jason Gory to get involved. Scramble rules here. He can do that. That's legal. Check this right out. Went for a head scissors. Idol drops down, plants Gory face first.
Well, Gory looked like he wanted to use his speed and agility to overcome the size disadvantage, but with just an Idol, you're going to get just the same amount of speed from Gory and from Xion.
That's right. QAS snaps off that sunset flip bomb. But he does not go for a cover. And Idol gets to his corner. I'll tell you what, Chuck.
Instinct there, Joe, to his core.
Into the
whiplash.
Oh, that's whiplash. Neck first off the second turnbuckle.
If he can get the cover, it's going to be the showers for sexual harassment, because I don't know how you can get out or kick out from your head against the turnbuckle. Oh, wait a second.
Maverick was on the apron.
What?
Giving instructions to Gory.
Where?
Maverick fell off the apron. I don't know if he inadvertently shook the rope or not.
Well, Joe,
Maverick's saying behind you.
Wait a second. What is?
My God. Variation of a package tiger drive.
Wait a minute, cover.
Eric with the cover. Team Catfish is out.
Jason, Gory, and Shiima Xion have been eliminated.
Jason Gory was ready to eliminate Justin Idol, but Chris Maverick, I have to believe it was inadvertent, even though I don't trust Chris Maverick, getting off the apron, shook the rope, and Gory fell, and that's what led to Xion and Gory getting eliminated. And you can see the disappointment on the face of Shiima on the outside.
Mixed signals yet again by Gory and manager Maverick. I'm sure we haven't heard the last of this, because I know they're not going to be happy once they both realize what happened. But right now, it looks like a 2-on-1 situation.
Oh my God!
A clothesline
into a dragon suplex cover to Eric, and that's 3.
Sexual harassment has been eliminated.
But look at Chris Maverick.
Holy cow, and just that quick.
Wait a second.
What?
Maverick is ignoring Jason Gory. He was watching the damn match.
Wait a second.
Heart attack.
Heart attack, clothesline. Joe, it's so hard to see. Now look, Jimmy DeMarco's now on the outside.
Oh my God. But wait, I got to touch on Maverick. He seemed more disappointed when sexual harassment got eliminated than when Team Catfish did. He was more disappointed in Gory than anything else.
What's Maverick doing? And better yet right now, what is DeMarco doing? He's handed the chair.
We got a brawl in the entrance.
Oh!
Chair shot to Rowe.
I don't know if that's legal in this match or not, but if he can get the cover, we got new tag team champions.
There's a brawl between sexual harassment and Team Catfish. Maverick's right in the middle of it. Where the hell are his allegiances lying?
What?
And Marshall just took Ray Rowe's head off with a chair.
Why does now wait a second? Why does DeMarco now look disappointed? Joe, what is going on in this match?
This is the most. What DeMarco? The Gambino's still stressed they don't need DeMarco to win matches. DeMarco still wants to lead the team. We got infighting with his family again.
And look at J-Rocc is trying to revive Ray Rowe. Ray Rowe now to his feet. A boot.
J-Rocc with a
driver. Oh!
Ray Rowe with a half-and-half suplex. Double pin. Can you believe it? Cleveland Mafia retains the title.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of this contest and still IWC Tag Team Champions, the Cleveland Mafia.
What a confusing turn of events. Chris Maverick, did he inadvertently cost Shiima and Gory the titles? Or was it intentional? Maverick seemed more intent on watching Justin Idol and Eric Ecstasy than with helping a hurt Jason Gory. What is the deal with Maverick, and what is the deal with the Gambinos? DeMarco again sticking his nose in his cousin Mickey and Marshall's business. DeMarco again inadvertently costing his cousins the tag titles. This tag team scene is more confusing and more conflicted than ever before, but you're looking at the two men that still stand atop the mountain. The Cleveland Mafia withstand all the confusion and retain the title.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is round number 1 action of the IWC Championship Tournament. It is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing to you first, making his way around the ring area, he is a member of the Unholy Alliance, weighing in at 175 pounds, HENTAI.
First round of the IWC Heavyweight Championship Tournament about to begin with the longest reigning and greatest Super Indie champion in the history of the International Wrestling Cartel, Unholy Alliance member HENTAI.
Well, greatest is an opinion. Dombrowski, you've seen a lot of IWC action, so if you feel he's the greatest Super Indy champion.
I think it's without a doubt. Held that title about a week and a half short of a full year.
Wow.
Beat Jerry Lynn, Christopher Daniels, Colt Cabana, CM Punk. The list is almost endless when it comes to super hentais.
Yes.
Reign atop
Super
of the
Indy
International
champion.
Wrestling Cartel in 2002 and into 2003.
Speaking of Super Indy champions, about to face the man he screwed out of perhaps the Super Indy title at Super Indy 5 this past April, Balls Hot Troy Lord.
Yes.
And introducing his opponent, weighing in at 190 pounds, from West Hollywood, California, Balls Hot Troy Lord.
It was April 15th of this year, the biggest show of the IWC calendar year, Super Indy 5. Troy Lord's trying to culminate a 5-year destiny with his first singles championship. He overcame Ricky Reyes, overcame Claudio Castagnoli, but before the final round, had his knee brutally injured by that man HENTAI in a HENTAI's jealous rage. And Lord has had his sights set on HENTAI ever since, but he hasn't been 100% in any of their encounters until hopefully now.
Well, it's very ironic that they ended up with each other here in the quarterfinals of this this title tournament. Not to discount the Super Indy title of the Super Indy tournament, but this is equally as important, if not more important, the champion of the International Wrestling Cartel, carrying the torch for all of Pittsburgh to the world. Tonight, Troy Lord could fulfill that destiny you were talking about, his first singles title here in IWC.
And wouldn't it be poetic if to fulfill that destiny, he went through the man that screwed him out of the Super Indy Championship. But notice the referee, Stephen Coulter, the assigned official of this contest. That does not bode well to Troy Lord. You know Coulter is a unholy alliance suck-up through and through. No other way to put it.
Yeah. He also denies the Jewish Holocaust happened, so go figure.
This is the first IWC Heavyweight Championship tournament since the summer of 2002.
Wow.
Colt Cabana was victorious on that night.
Oh yeah? Was that a one-night tournament as well, Joe?
That was a one-night tournament. Beat Shirley Doe in the final round.
And where was that held?
That was held in the Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania.
Cannonsburg.
The old Isoplex.
Ah, yes, the Isoplex.
Star-studded lineup that night as well, with Chris Hero, Balls Mahoney, Little Guido, many others. Certainly very similar to the star-studded lineup we have here tonight, but certainly I expect the competition here tonight to far exceed
split
any other heavyweight title division in any of the prior eras of IWC, as Troy Lords and HENTAI now engage in a slugfest. We talked about the hatred in both of these men's eyes for so many months. Troy Lord snaps off a dropkick. You know, Troy Lord's credited Super HENTAI as the reason Lords became a wrestler in the first place. That's true.
Very personal issue then we have on our hands.
Lords went to dive. HENTAI, smart enough to see him coming, sidesteps it. But certainly when HENTAI defected to the Unholy Alliance, he certainly felt more betrayed than anybody else in the roster. For that reason, Lords dives off the ring post with a crossbody. Unbelievable.
These two are not what you normally look at and classify as heavyweights, but that's a testament to how great wrestlers they are and how dangerous they are if they're in this tournament. They're obviously looked at by Norm Connors and all the IWC officials as good enough to be in this title tournament. And like you said, HENTAI, a former champion, obviously the automatic berth, despite his views on Team IWC.
That's right. Well, nobody stepped up to the plate quite like Troy Lords has here in 2006. And whether you like him or not, personal issues aside, HENTAI and also Shirley Doe, based on their past accomplishments, do deserve to be here. HENTAI sidesteps the missile dropkick, and you know the Unholy Alliance would never let it rest if they were not represented in this tournament.
Shirley Doe, and more recently had quite the IWC title reign. Very shortly interrupted by Balls Mahoney, if I'm not mistaken, but he had that title for the better part of a year and a half, close to almost going on 2 years.
That's right. Even with the Balls Mahoney interruption, his second reign with that championship by far the longest in company history.
Defended the title 15 times, something like that, successfully, before losing it to Dennis Gregory finally.
Just imagine if Doe gets a stranglehold on that championship again here tonight.
Yes, beginning his third reign, that would be, right?
That's right. Keep in mind, this tournament came about because Dennis Gregory was stripped of the championship because of complaints towards the Athletic Commission over using a sword in a sanctioned heavyweight title matchup. Of course, the title was up for grabs in that War Games matchup last month. Certainly, you know that the Stephen Coulters of the world were happy, if not instrumental, in that happening.
Why doesn't the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission just wrap up the IWC title belt and just send it to the Unholy Alliance? They might as well do that.
Hell of a back chop there by HENTAI. And certainly you can understand their concern over the more hardcore environment in some promotions here in Pennsylvania, but this matchup, this feud was just so personal that Shirley Doe, HENTAI, Dark, the like, brought it upon themselves. They raised the stakes this much. They certainly had it coming when it came time to unleash that sword in War Games.
Bringing in Abyss, and that actually backfired. You're going to see later, Shirley Doe's walking in the locker room with an eye patch on. That was 6 weeks ago.
Let's say Oklahoma roll here by Troy Lord's cover. Oh, look how slow Coulter is on the count.
This guy's killing me.
Slow as molasses, as they say. And notice Coulter not even hiding his feelings over his support to HENTAI.
Didn't we try to get rid of this guy once? And CJ ended up getting suspended or something?
Well, yeah, Coulter's the reason CJ Sensation's not a referee anymore, but certainly CJ rebounded well, and we'll see him in active competition for the first time in an IWC ring, for the first time in over 4 years, later on here in this DVD. But right now the story is the heavyweight championship. HENTAI.
Ooh, double knees!
Charging in some Howling Fury in the corner of the double knees. Into an axe handle shot right to the sternum.
Maybe even 2 open chops across the chest. Now HENTAI going up to the third floor, the high rent district. Not a strange area for HENTAI. Look at that agility right up there.
Gonna go for aces high here, that splash.
Wave, good night. HENTAI, no stranger to the sport of professional wrestling, quite a decorated veteran.
Lords.
Of course, the quarterfinal match with the 20-minute time limit, Dabrowski.
That's right, Lord snaps in with the Arabian moonsault after HENTAI missed the splash, cover, and
you have got to be kidding me!
This is Norm Connors, the promoter, watching from the sidelines.
This
also
guy.
upset. Norm Connors and Coulter, they've had their paths cross as well very physically, and obviously nobody's happy about this job. And Norm Connors making his way over here. Norm, what do you have to say about this job?
Do you mind if, can I talk to you for a minute?
Absolutely. This is important job.
Well, I don't blame Norm Connors for stealing Bryce Remsburg from our broadcast position. Obviously, something's got to be done with stakes like this with the heavyweight championship on the line. Lords with a cut. Oh, check the shoulders, please. And Lords getting frustrated as well. With stakes like this, with 8 men fighting for their lives here for the heavyweight title, you cannot have a referee as biased as this. Hopefully Bryce Remsburg is more instrumental in the outcome of this tournament than Stephen Coulter is, because Bryce Remsburg, I can vouch for him. He calls it right down the middle. Duck of the elbow by Lords, or by HENTAI, excuse me, clothesline as well, as Mr. Remsburg rejoins us. Lords with a spinning Uranagi, lateral press. Oh, check the shoulders real carefully there. 2, and no. Big surprise there, huh?
Yeah, how about that? I'm not at liberty to divulge what we just discussed, but I think you'll be pleased as how it ends up.
Well, I hope that something can be done to get this tyrant, this backstabber, whatever you want to call him, Stephen Coulter, out of power.
He's a parasite. He's a weasel, man. Referees go in there. You're supposed to do one job, and you oversee the action. It's not about you. It's not about. It's about the wrestlers. It's about the show.
Lords gets the foot up, counters the charging HENTAI.
Kid's a punk. What other promotions does Coulter work for, Dabrowski?
I think he's been banned from about every other
how about
organization
that? I can't
under
think
the
of
sun.
any either. Oh!
Northern Lights overhead suplex. Lords lands awkwardly right on that neck.
Awkwardly is an understatement.
I think if it wasn't for A, Coulter's pull with the Unholy Alliance, and B, his influence on the commission, Coulter would have been fired long ago. 2, no. More steady count there for HENTAI.
A little bit. He's fixing his sleeves, too.
Look at the disappointment on Coulter's face.
Boo-hoo, very impartial. Jabron.
Over not being able to count out Troy Lords. Great power by HENTAI. Probably the most powerful man of his stature in the industry today. Cover. 2 end.
Why doesn't he just flash cam? Doesn't even matter anymore, apparently. Well, I'm sorry, I'm a lost for words. This is ridiculous, though, Joe. You know this.
It's obvious.
Now HENTAI having words with Coulter, his boy, his buddy.
Coulter, I guess, thinly masking his biasness here.
Yeah.
I guess only for acoustics, only so he can appeal to the commission that he's doing his job the best he can.
Right.
Make up the latest excuse.
He'll get his.
Lords has HENTAI precariously on that top rope, hammering away. Lords trying to avenge that Super Indy 5 loss. Lords has not been the same since. That knee injury at Super Indy 5 looks like he's finally healed from it.
Oh! Those back chops sting like you wouldn't believe.
Lords going all the way up top.
All 4 men, or all 4 feet on the top rope almost, not quite. Could be a big
look out, superplex. Beautiful float over. No, he didn't have enough to stay on him.
Lords trying to shake off the cobwebs, realize where he is. Hooks both legs.
Deep hook, 2. Oh,
rolls through the cradle.
Wait a second.
Maybe a handful of fast count, Joe.
Coulter helped HENTAI turn Troy Lords over.
Here is your winner, and advancing to the semifinal round, HENTAI.
What a bargain basement victory. What a con job. Coulter physically helped HENTAI reverse the cover on Troy Lords. And the fans already getting on Coulter's face. Bryce Remsburg leaving in disgust. Obviously, Coulter not doing the referees of the wrestling world very proud at all. But dubious or not, referee's decision is final, unfortunately. HENTAI gets another one up on Troy Lords. Squashes Lords' ambitions yet again. And makes it to the semifinals of this championship tournament. I feel so bad for Troy Lords.
The following first round contest is scheduled for 1 call with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing to you first, weighing at 200 pounds, Gory, Pennsylvania, McChesney.
Joe Dombrowski now joined by the prophet of prophet Chris Maverick. And Maverick, as much as I'd like to interrogate you about that tag match we saw earlier, I'm not even going to start because we have big-time implications in this matchup. Heavyweight title tournament quarterfinal. That's the big prize.
Heavyweight title tournament. So, I mean, I've been backstage. I'm not sure. Do you know who the mystery opponent is?
We're going to find out in about 10 seconds. Replacement for Glenn Spector suffered an unfortunate leg injury.
Is it you?
It's not me. About
sure?
a couple of weeks ago, John McChesney, a former 2-time Super Indy champion, certainly one of the top 8 contenders to the heavyweight title. Love to see him go far in this tournament, but he has no idea who his opponent is. Neither do we. Randomly selected between the 8 right before these matches go out, and we don't even know who this 8th guy is to begin with.
If it's you, I think McChesney has it.
It's not me. I was not next PW. McChesney doesn't look worried, smile on his face, happy to be competing for IWC's top prize. So McChesney used to Super Indy competition, but that's on the back burner for one night. You know, he's still got Delirious in his sights, but now it's about the heavyweight crown. Oh, look at it, look who it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing his opponent, making his IWC debut, hailing from New Orleans, Louisiana, weighing at 197 pounds, Ultra Boy Luke.
You heard Chuck Roberts say it, Ultra Boy Luke making his very first appearance in the International Wrestling Cartel.
You want to give me some background on this guy, Joe? You usually have the facts and figures right there at your fingertips there.
A former competitor for XPW, for CZW, as was mentioned, a big-time mainstay in the Philadelphia area, a guy who's competed against just about any major name you can think of. He's been on TNA television. He's been all over the wrestling world. A big star down in Georgia as well for the now defunct NWA Wild Side, which was a very big deal a few years ago.
Very big in the Vatican, Altar Boy Luke.
Well, I suppose so, but that has nothing to do with his wrestling skills, which he has quite a bit of, and we're about to see here against John McChesney.
Well, if you have to beat off all those priests, you know, it's Altar Boy.
I think that has more than one negative connotation I won't explore right now.
I don't. What do you mean?
But it is John McChesney, Altar Boy Luke. Luke, a 7-year pro, native of New Orleans, Louisiana.
That's pronounced Nolens, Louisiana.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nolens.
Maybe that's where Jay Worthington Farnsworth is again.
He does like it down there.
Collar and elbow tie-up, go behind by McChesney. Wait a second. Fun chance here by Altar Boy Luke. Altar Boy Luke, a daredevil, much like Jason Gory or Shiima Xion, certainly can fly through the air with the greatest of ease.
Well, nobody can fly like Jason Gory and Shiima Xion.
Well,
did you see the dives there?
I did. I stand corrected.
You see the little twisty thing? Yeah.
The point is, Altar Boy Luke...
I taught him that.
Very skilled in the aerial department, but will John McChesney let it go that far?
McChesney seems to be controlling him quite a bit right here. I don't know that
Now, you being a manager extraordinaire, how would you advise, if you were, hypothetically, let's not get into any business phone calls or contract arrangements, if you were hypothetically managing somebody in this tournament, how would you prepare them for wrestling 3 times against the toughest competition in the state?
It's almost impossible. I mean, you'll remember I did advise Shiima Xion when he was doing the Super Indy tournament a couple of years ago. It's almost impossible to prepare for 3 different opponents. You almost have to prepare for all 7 because you don't know who's going to win the other matches.
Especially in this case, you don't even know how the brackets are going to shape up in the future.
We didn't know who we didn't know who was going to, you don't know who's going to be your first opponent because the brackets were not released ahead of time. There was an open spot.
Right. And HENTAI won his matchup, but we can't be sure he'll face the winner of this matchup. We don't know how the brackets are orchestrated.
What happens if we end up with HENTAI versus Shirley Doe? I mean, does HENTAI lay down for Doe? Does Doe lay down for HENTAI? Does the Unholy Alliance fall apart tonight?
That's going to be a very interesting scenario. I just hope that's not our final round matchup. Deep arm drag by John McChesney. And
I hope it's the next matchup. If they have to go up against each other right now and just end it all. First round, wouldn't that be great?
Japanese style arm drag. Drop kick. Well, HENTAI already had his first round matchup.
Oh, that's right.
Broadcast journalist, but be that as it may, it looks like McChesney will be the first one to go to the air in this matchup.
Crowd moving out the way. Smart of them.
Gotta wonder how much time Altar Boy Luke had to scout McChesney's style. Look out. Oh, Altar Boy Luke gets out of the way. Very smart.
That's a man who's seen some tape right there. But apparently not enough tape. See, why point to your head like that?
McChesney rebounds with a punch.
I'm smart. What is that?
Well, he's trying to show off, and it's not working too well.
See, this is why I never show off.
Give me a break.
Always keep your eye on the match.
I'm going to try to ignore your delusional state of mind for the duration of however long you're out here, for the sake of this heavyweight title tournament. As McChesney going high risk in those low-key-esque knife-edge chops to Altar Boy Luke. McChesney has spent over 3 years in this company carving a reputation for himself. He does not want to go down to a first-time appearance like Altar Boy Luke, as talented as Luke may be.
Has Luke ever won a championship anywhere? Of this caliber or of any caliber?
Well, certainly not of this caliber. He was very successful, as I mentioned, in the Georgia area and over into Philadelphia, but this is a whole new territory here as McChesney wearing away at Altar Boy Luke. We cover Altar Boy Luke trained by Vic Grimes. If you remember him from ECW and XPW, one of the biggest daredevils you're going to find, and I don't mean that just literally. 400-pounder who's fallen off a balcony, so that's the mindset Altar Boy Luke gets his style from. That's very scary to think. Luke was able to take McChesney down with the Northern Lights with a fabulous one quickly back to his feet. Look out, German suplex takes him down. And unbelievable role McChesney's been on in recent months as well. How about those Super Indy title matches with DeeeeLicious? How about winning the Super Indy High Challenge at Super Indy 5? McChesney would absolutely love to get some more gold around his waist for the first time since March.
So if he wins the heavyweight title tonight, which is a very real possibility, does he give up on the Super Indy Championship? Or could he be our first double champion?
Certainly being a champion in the IWC is a full-time job. I don't know of any athlete alive that can pull off that kind of schedule to defend both of those belts regularly. Cover 2, certainly each belt is prestigious and special in its own way, and both are very worthy of possession. So if McChesney doesn't win here, I think, well, who knows what he'll do. He has an option here. Super Indy title, heavyweight title. McChesney's good enough to hold either title individually, but I wouldn't say about the same time.
What about international title? What about tag team championships?
Quick roll up here. There ain't nothing McChesney can't do. As you hear Chuck Roberts announcing the time limits, 20-minute time limits in quarterfinal round matches.
Altar Boy Luke is showing me a lot here. I mean, he could be receiving a phone call from the Prophet of Profit in the very near future. Let's see how this turns out.
I hope not for his sake.
What are you saying?
I don't think Altar Boy Luke wants to give up 60% of the take.
I'll cut him a break. 55.
Reverse chin lock by Altar Boy Luke, has the knee driven between the shoulder blades. McChesney able to counter out. Great spinning back kick, martial arts style, right to the back of the head of McChesney. That's got to daze the fabulous one. Will it be enough for 3? No.
What kind of martial arts do they study in Nolans?
I don't know. I'm sure you traveled there for a photo shoot.
I have traveled that photo shoot. Yeah, photo shoots. And there's this club called Big Daddies. I mean, the girls there, I got to tell you, ooh.
Shoulder breaker, don't see that very often these days. Tremendously executed. Fans coming alive for McChesney. Some like him, some don't. Great Cape Rana by Altar Boy Luke. Almost shades of that halo he likes to snap off, but a standard version of that lion salt-like maneuver. And Luke again tries to slow down the pace. Luke seems to be trying to out-wrestle John McChesney in the early going.
I mean, you described this guy as a daredevil, but it appears he can wrestle as well. I mean, he's now controlling McChesney on the mat, at least for the moment.
Altar Boy Luke would not be in this ring if he could not wrestle on the caliber of men like John McChesney and HENTAI and certainly all the rest. As you see, Altar Boy Luke a little bit distracted by official Bryce Remsburg. It seems that Altar Boy Luke has heard about McChesney's successes and is maybe trying to ground the man. And those hard chops and kicks, Luke giving them back to McChesney as soon as he receives them.
Maybe he's met Loki too.
Certainly a distinct possibility. Inside cradle by McChesney. Didn't have his leg wrapped around the lower body. Sprigs up with a beautiful drop kick. Check out that seamless agility. Luke certainly would love to be a regular, as you see, what goes for cover, but McChesney under the ropes already. Bad ring positioning by Luke. But Luke would love to have a regular spot on the roster here, and certainly win, lose, or draw, an impressive showing could warrant that. Ouch. All right. Now just choking McChesney across that second ring cable.
You see that? 4 out of the 5 count. Took his time.
4 and some change.
Hey, that's smart wrestling there for you, Joe. It's not cheating until they get to 5.
That's very true, and then it's not an automatic disqualification. So Luke walking a very fine line when winning is not an option, it's a requirement to go on and continue on later tonight.
Not an option, it's a requirement.
Right.
That's pretty good there.
Well, thank you.
You know, I like you, Joe.
Cover 2.
No matter what anybody says.
10 minutes has elapsed in this contest. 10 minutes remain.
Another lateral press. We're halfway home right now. If neither man can score a pinfall, somebody's getting a bye. We don't know who yet, but somebody's getting a bye into the finals.
This is which match is this? Second?
This is a quarterfinal round matchup.
But it's the second quarterfinal matchup?
It's the second quarterfinal round matchup. HENTAI has advanced, and we hope one of these men will as well. Because the more non-Unholy Alliance members move on, the less of a chance they have of winning. Luke just crashing all of his weight down into McChesney on the outside. Look out, Altar Boy Luke sets him up. Rip countered, and Luke hits face first into that ring post. May have tried to block it. Don't think he blocked any of it.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to be pretty enough for me to actually manage him now.
Certainly not weld on his chest, isn't going to help matters either. But Luke, experienced in XPW, CZW, probably the most violent promotions in the history of this continent. And whether that's a good or bad thing, I'll leave it up to the home audience to decide. Oh! Now that's a beautiful move by Luke. Shaking the ropes, backing up into the top rope. McChesney loses his balance, and check out how awkwardly he landed right on the back of that neck. The same neck Ultra Boy Luke hit with that savate kick moments ago.
He doesn't have more than one neck. Naturally, it's the same neck.
Well,
he only
the same body part. Excuse me, Mr. Semantics. Delayed vertical suplex by Luke. This guy, he's got power too. Check it out.
All the blood rushes to your head when you take one of those, and then you still have to deal with the back pain upon being dropped.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that. A little bit of showmanship there.
Great photo would recover. Went to McChesney's body as quickly as possible, but took a few seconds to get there. Certainly that may have cost him the victory as McChesney starts to fire back with some chops and right hands. Oh, boy Luke spins him around, connects with another martial arts style kick. McChesney never saw it coming, spun right into it.
Right to the gut. That'll drive all the wind out of you.
Absolutely right. That could be it, but again, Ultra Boy Luke took some extra few seconds to get to that cover. That may have been the telling factor here. Ooh, nice back kick. That may have been the telling factor between Ultra Boy Luke in the semifinals and Ultra Boy Luke not in the semifinals. These few seconds, these laps of concentration before the cover.
I think he's definitely in the semis at this point. Oh!
Check out McChesney's neck snap back off the impact of that drop kick. McChesney sandwiched between Luke and the turnbuckle.
His neck snap back, and then his head hit the back of the turnbuckle. That's the kind of move that wins you a championship. Not even, and this is only a quarterfinal match. What else are we going to see tonight?
Well, certainly these guys putting it all on the line. You got to wonder what these 8 men are going to have left in them as the semifinals and finals approach.
Too much time jarring with the crowd here.
Wait a second. Here comes that Halo Mav. He calls it the Halo. Check out this agility.
Yep.
Streaks in with the moonsault, but McChesney out of the way.
See, it's too much time arguing with the fans. That's the kind of thing that a manager will advise you not to do. McChesney had a chance to recover.
Check out the hang time on that vertical drop kick.
5 minutes remain.
Outstanding leap. McChesney got off that springboard. And now the precursatory 10 count with just 5 minutes left in the matchup. It's all or nothing and do or die for both of these individuals.
Split crowd, half the crowd behind McChesney, the other half not.
McChesney's had a time limit draw in this building before against Troy Lords in January at A New Beginning. One of the best matchups we've seen in quite some time in the company. Be a shame if this matchup has to end that way as well.
Won against Loki too, didn't he?
Very true as well. McChesney, certainly a man that can go the distance and wrestle very defensively when the time comes. McChesney fires up with an elbow, follows through clothesline, and now Ultra Boy Luke in the most trouble he's been in this matchup thus far. Northern Lights beautiful bridge, 2 and almost a count of 3.
Why kick out when you can just punch a man in the gut? Nice wrestling there by Ultra Boy Luke.
McChesney, very worried about the time. This is the time limit draw. Both of these men are knocked out of the tournament. Elevated DDT, picks him up and drops him down right on the head. Cover 2. Ugly landing for Ultra Boy Luke, which only made it even more painful for him. All right, forearm shots now by the Fabulous One. And then for the ride, Ultra Boy reverses it. Look out, Hurricane Rana, beautifully done. 2 and no. McChesney, I think he's going for that electric chair driver. Maybe not. We're seeing him finish off opponents with that move in recent months. Luke Fisherman suplex, got the fingers clasped, but McChesney still gets the shoulder up. Textbook Fisherman suplex by Ultra Boy Luke.
1 minute remaining in this
And a lot of heart by McChesney. He better hurry up.
Showing that experience. Miss of the spin kick.
Uh-oh.
Look out. TKO. Drops in hard. Is this going to be enough? Cover 3. No.
45 seconds.
Another kick out by Ultra Boy Luke. As we hit crunch time in a big way, it's high risk time. Pull out everything you have in your system if you have any hopes of advancing to the next round. Luke, tornado DDT
30 seconds.
McChesney fights out.
Both men nervous.
Look out. Flatliner.
That's it. We have our...
In the next round, no. Only 8 pounds.
15 seconds.
Better move.
Can anybody get a quick roll up here? Get a quick cover. Oh! Both men connect. Drop kick to McChesney. Sublet kick to Ultra Boy Luke. They're not going to have enough time.
Not enough time for a pin. Not enough time.
Not enough time. And this matchup is over. Time limit draw, unfortunately, but it was a tremendous battle. Final round rules, time limit draw.
Crowd wants 5 more minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20-minute time limit has expired. This contest is ruled a draw, and neither man advances in the tournament.
And look at the look on McChesney's face. It's finally setting in on him that his dreams of being heavyweight champion are done.
He's been here before. He knows what it feels like. And tough break for John McChesney.
Both guys are upset, but those are the rules of the quarterfinal round matches.
I mean, can you give them 5 more minutes? Is that fair to the other competitors?
Absolutely not. Everybody had to prepare to win their match inside 20 minutes.
Yeah, but everybody else had an opponent to prepare for. I mean, Ultra Boy Luke, where have we even seen this guy before?
True. Oh, we've seen him before. We do our research.
No, we haven't seen him before. I mean,
not here, no.
That's... Talk about semantics, Joe.
Well, can't make any exceptions to the rules, and I just hope this doesn't mean what we think it means, and that's HENTAI gets a box.
HENTAI was the other person in this bracket.
Ladies and gentlemen, regardless of the outcome, let's hear it for John McChesney and the debut of Ultra Boy Luke. Let's hear it for him.
Great matchup, Maverick. Gotta give it up to Ultra Boy Luke. Tremendous showing in his IWC debut. And of course, as always,
showmanship, hug, what is that?
A lot of heart and determination shown by John McChesney. An awesome quarterfinal round matchup. You got it, well, maybe you don't, but all of us normal folk have to give it up to these two athletes.
Mutual Admiration Society, whatever.
Beautiful showing. Quarterfinal round action continues here in the International Wrestling Cartel in just a moment.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit, is opening round action in the IWC Championship Tournament. Introducing to you first, weighing at 225 pounds, from the Sunset Strip, it's J.K. Sterling James Keenan.
Sterling James Keenan, one of only 2 men in company history to hold both the IWC heavyweight and Super Indy titles in the span of his career, had a championship opportunity against then champion Shirley Doe last March, a matchup that ended in interference, run-ins, and involvement from the Unholy Alliance, a beating so brutal to both Sterling's body and his psyche. He took a self-imposed hiatus from the company for about 4 or 5 months, came back last July to fight off the Unholy Alliance, and now gets what he's rightfully deserved for many months, another shot at that heavyweight championship he was screwed out of by Doe and Company back this past spring.
What's important, look at that jacket. That's new tights. I'm liking the look. Maybe Sterling's gonna get a phone call. That's all I'm saying.
And you're gonna hear a click on the other end, I guarantee that. Sterling is his own man.
Just like Liberace.
Well, I'm sure he was a few other guys' man too, but that's another story. Oh, we know who this is.
And introducing the opponent, weighing in at 203 pounds, from Albania,
Rottweiler, he's a Havana Pit Bull, and he's one of the most smash-mouth, in-your-face individuals in wrestling today. In the same mold of Loki and Homicide is Ricky Reyes.
Ricky Reyes may be bigger than both men.
Look at the death stare on Ricky Reyes, not blinking, not taking his eyes off SJK, Sterling, James Keenan. Reyes knows what Sterling's all about. They've been on international tours together. They've crossed paths before in locker rooms, but they've never wrestled each other one-on-one. To my knowledge, the first ever Reyes-Sterling meeting right here tonight in the quarterfinals of our International Wrestling Cartel Title Tournament. Joe Dombrowski, Chris Maverick here calling the action.
Okla Tanzan.
You can see the focus on both men's faces. Sterling took away from his normal pre-match diet drive, didn't insult the ringside fans, didn't go on any type of a tangent. Sterling knows he's got a long night ahead of him. At his best case scenario, a long night ahead of him.
Well, he realizes he has, he potentially has to wrestle 3 times tonight.
Reyes muscles Sterling down. Sterling quick to get in the ropes. Sterling knows how lethal Reyes can be if he can grasp a hold of you. Think back, I'm not sure if you were watching Maverick or not, but think back to the first round of Super Indy 5 when Reyes took on another one of the best in the world, Alex Shelley. They had a fantastic matchup, about 15 minutes back and forth, but the second Reyes locked in that Dragon Sleeper, Shelley was quick to tap. He knew the long-term damage Reyes can do to you. Sterling went for a cover attempt, not going to hold Reyes down for long this early in the match.
Yeah, but Sterling doesn't want to mess around here. Sterling, you know, he's held the gold before. He's held the Super Indy title before, and he's won a Super Indy tournament. So he knows what it's like to go through this entire tournament. He knows that you want to conserve your energy as much as you can for this first match. You got 3 more times. There'll be time for jaw-jacking with the fans later. There'll be time for jaw-jacking with the fans once you are the heavyweight champion.
Series of forearms with Reyes retaliating with those kicks and chops. As I said, smash mouth like style, but there's no counter to a finger in the eye, is there?
Finger in the other eye.
Sterling can elevate Reyes. All muscle on that back suplex. Sterling's going to have to use his leverage advantage. I think Sterling's got about maybe 2 or 3 inches or so on Reyes. So he's going to have to use that to his advantage. While at the same time, Reyes is going to have to go to the striking game. Certainly few can outstrike Reyes. I don't think Sterling's in that category, no offense to SJK. As that chancery into that twisting neck breaker by Reyes, that will jar your neck. And Reyes still recovering from that finger in the eye. Trying to keep Sterling down before Reyes can get his vision back, get that excess water out of the eye. Cravat cinched in, sets him up for a neck breaker, drives him down hard. And Reyes already, as you can see, setting up for that Dragon Sleeper, focusing on that neck. That is perhaps the most lethal move in the arsenal of Ricky Reyes.
I think everything Ricky Reyes does is lethal, Joe.
That's right. They say it only takes 3 seconds to end a matchup. With Reyes, it takes less than 3 seconds.
He only has to do a 1 count? 2 count? How's that work?
I mean with the Dragon Sleeper. I have yet to see anyone last for any span of time in that match, in that hold, without either tapping out, passing out, or at least long-term damage being done.
I don't know that Sterling is gonna tap out. He might have to knock him out. I mean, Sterling knows how important this is.
Ouch. Kick to the spine. Sterling, as we mentioned, took a self-imposed exile from the IWC for about 4 months over frustration, concern of the Unholy Alliance running rampant. Finally came back this past July, and certainly with the help of him and his trusty sword, swayed the balance of power away from the Unholy Alliance and towards the IWC locker room. Shirley Doe, his eye still has not recovered, may never recover, having that sword jammed into his retina. Just about 5 weeks ago, that sword of Sterling James Keenan.
I mean, you hate to see that. I mean, I'm no fan of the Unholy Alliance, but you hate to see anybody get hurt like that.
They cover 2 and no. Well, you hate to see anybody get hurt like that, but certainly Doe and HENTAI had raised the bar
to such sickening levels that that was, you know, a required means.
I don't know about required, Joe.
Well, I mean, the ends justify the means. And
wow. Do you really think so? I've never heard that before. Ends justify the means. I might have to think about that. That could be my new philosophy, Joe.
Oh! Elevated backcracker by Sterling. Reyes.
That could be the ends right there.
Deep hook kick out. Reyes not just landing back first across Sterling's knees, but being driven down from the second turnbuckle, landing at a higher, sharper angle across Sterling's knees. Certainly increases the pain on that.
I think he may have bounced and hit twice. 15.
Would not be surprised.
Wait a minute.
20-minute time limit in this matchup as well. Oh, look out, Dragon Sleeper. Reyes has it cinched in. Oh, did not get it on all the way. But Northern Lights by Sterling. 2-0. If Reyes had cinched in the body scissors and leaned back with the hold, Sterling would be done for.
I just thought about that. If this is a 20-minute time limit as well, and neither man advances here, and we have HENTAI already advancing because of a 20-minute time limit draw. Right. We gotta assume that Doe and Loki are the only 2 men remaining.
Well, we have to make that assumption. Reyes rolls him over, deep hook, he got 3.
Well, thank God, because I was going to say.
The winner of this contest and advancing to the semi-final round, Reyes.
Reyes uses some of that great technique with that striking offense. Great cradle and also a hook of the leg, a deep hook of the leg. Kept Sterling's body immobile. He could not move. And Reyes certainly in a lot of pain from the back. That backcracker, as I mentioned, you saw the angle he landed, not straight down, but at an angle on Sterling's knees, and that may have done a lot of damage to Reyes' spine.
I mean, you're talking about a herniated disc, you're talking about a cracked vertebrae.
And let's hear from Sterling. James Keenan now going to talk. Being defeated by Ricky Reyes should be interesting to see the mindset he's in.
What a day. First I get here, find out the goddamn athletic commission outlaws my cane. I can't even bring it to the ring.
Like it has that sword inside it that was used at No Excuses 2 in War Games.
And he needs that cane. I mean, he did hurt his leg.
Then, in a random drawing, I step in the ring with this cat right here. I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't the most surprised person in this building right now. But you brought it tonight, Reyes. You beat me. Fair and square in the ring. Good luck.
Fantastic showing of respect and personal endorsement. That doesn't come often or easy from SJK.
Oh, and Ricky, tell the boys in the back, whether it's you, whether it's one of them, whoever leaves this building with that title belt tonight, better cherish every second of it. Because I swear to God, 2006 will not end until SJK is the World Heavyweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the following first round action in the championship tournament is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, from the Pittsburgh Hospital, weighing in at 222 pounds, the leader of the Unholy Alliance, Shirley Doe.
Shirley Doe ripping up a sign that said, "Got I."
Fans have little eyeballs. Okay, that's funny.
That they do. They have little eyeballs they're taunting Doe with.
I don't approve of stabbing a man in the eye, but that's funny.
Doe lost his eye at No Excuses 2 when Dennis Gregory jammed Sterling's sword into that eye to end No Excuses 2's War Games matchup.
Right now, let's hear it. Come on. You people are the sickest sons of bitches I've ever seen. You know what it's like to lose your eye? Does anybody here know what it's like to not be able to wrestling is worth losing your eye over? I have something to laugh about. Every one of you is going to be in hell for laughing at me. And I'm going to be there desiccating your corpses.
We apologize for that.
I'm going to hell because I hate God. You people are going to hell because you're sick. Why don't you try it out? Would you like to come to the ring kind of promo? Because obviously the whole show's about you. This crowd wishes it was a PNA or Ring of Honor crowd. And this crowd is not. This crowd is a poor example of people who watch tapes that learn chants and get a message for it and think, we're almost like a Ring of Honor crowd. No, you're not. Now, before I go off on another tangent on how much I hate every single one of you people, last time when we were here, we Unholy Alliance lost. Hey, I'm getting to a point. Awesome. Awesome. Bring it on. This is exactly what I want. This is why I'm a heel. Because I want you people to boo me. You're working with me. Thank you very much. Now, let me finish my sentence, you stupid bastards. Last time, we lost, and it's one person's fault. He's not here tonight. He knows what he did. He knows why I was laying in the ring getting my eye taken out by a sword cane. A sword cane? What is this, wrestling? No. Somehow this has become He-Man in the Masters of the Universe with a power sword in my eye. Tonight, that's all meaningless because Super Hentai is coasting to the next round. And guess what I'm doing? There's nobody here. There's nobody in the back. There's no more rejects from CZW or XPW to come into this ring to challenge me. So, my players, be careful on those steps. I know you and the steps have a horrible relationship. And tell me that I will be going to the next round as a winner.
This is what I was worried about, Joe.
Go to hell, bastard.
2 Unholy Alliance members with buys to round 2.
Low-key is en route to the building, but apparently hasn't gotten here yet. Don't tell me Doe gets a bye.
Shirley Doe would just shut the hell up. Give me a hell yeah. I'm sorry. If you wish Shirley Doe would just shut the hell up. Give me a hell yeah. Thank you. Loki is not arrived here yet. So that means he's not in this match. But if you bear with me, I think when
He'll just say it, Norm.
However,
He's got a bye. This sucks.
What's Norm have on that paper he's holding?
Joe, Stone Cold Dawson, you got your great promo guys, The Rock, Stone Cold, etc., etc., etc. Quite frankly, I think you're one hell of a promo myself. However, you know, I'm not the same man I once was, but I've said it a couple times here before. If you want somebody who can get on the microphone and roll with the best of them, Notorious Thorn can do it any night of the week. And a decision I made here in this contract, which states the following. If any person cannot appear in the heavyweight title tournament tonight, taking his place will be the winner of the fall in the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Tournament. Sir, hit Shirley Doe's opponent's music.
Wait a second.
The winner of the tournament, I was out there. That means, oh my God.
The winner of the fall in the tag team title matchup.
Yeah.
It's who I think
I know who it was. I saw.
Oh my. Ray Rowe. And look at this reaction.
He's one half of the IWC Tag Team Champions, Ray Rowe.
I just saw Ray Rowe suplex 6 men in a row. No pun intended.
One of them being 280 plus pounds.
which is more than Shirley Doe weighs. And I believe he did it twice. I believe he...
At least. Ray Rowe is a damn suplex machine. He is unstoppable. He is a Mack truck. And Shirley Doe has never faced him.
I like this. I mean, Doe lost his eye. He might be breaking his neck right here.
Match is underway. Rowe with a mixed martial arts style striking background and submission style background. Ray Rowe, if there's anybody in the locker room that's...
Okay, do not taunt Ray Rowe.
Oh, look at the look on Rowe's face.
Anybody who's watching at home, never, don't slap Ray Rowe. That's just stupid.
Right. If there's anybody who can match striking and submission grappling with Ricky Reyes, I think it's Ray Rowe. Returning the slap, got him the second time around. You gotta wonder how that eye patch is affecting Shirley Doe. Gotta be tough to adjust to wrestling with one eye.
Well, you're gonna lose bilateral vision. You see that? It's a big word, just like you used. You're gonna lose your bilateral vision.
Ray Rowe has an eyeball.
And you've got like an open wound on the side of your head.
He may physically insert that in a number of Shirley Doe's orifices before this match is done. Hard couple of forearms up. Let's check it out. Hard knife edge chop. Can you believe the power behind even one Ray Rowe strike blocked by Doe goes to the eyes. I guess wants somebody else to feel his pain. And if you're Shirley Doe, certainly nobody, you had no way of preparing for this. No way to prepare for anybody in this matchup, but Ray Rowe, another late entry, Doe even more in the dark than usual.
Well, so normally I'd point out that Ray Rowe's at an obvious disadvantage having already wrestled to Shirley Doe. Oh no, he's lost the patch.
Look out.
That's dangerous.
Oh, overhead, belly to belly by Ray Rowe, a man who has been unstoppable in recent times. And look at Coulter. Stephen Coulter in the pocket of Doe. Even that might not be enough to save Shirley Doe.
Yeah. I was going to say, you know, normally you give the advantage to Doe for being the fresh man, but he is missing an eye. And this is Ray Rowe we're talking about. I mean,
barely anybody's even been able to slow Ray Rowe down, let alone stop the man. He's taken hard, solid steel chair shots to the head and barely flinched. You gotta wonder how he's gonna adapt to Shirley Doe. Unquestionably, some of the toughest forearms in the business. Ray Rowe comes back with a headbutt. We know Ray Rowe's head is a lot tougher than the average human being.
Shirley Doe is pretty tough himself. I mean,
oh, without a doubt. Nobody has a higher pain threshold in the international wrestling cartel than Shirley Doe.
I mean, I'm not a fan, but you got to give the man credit. I mean, he did lose his eye 4 weeks ago, competed 2 weeks later, competing again tonight.
Doe favoring that eye right now. You have to imagine that the bright lights here in the Court Time Sports Center are having a negative effect on that damaged eye. He does not have that patch to protect it.
Now, is the eye still in there?
I certainly don't want to look.
I mean,
I don't know exactly what the remnants of it are, but I do know that he does not have vision on it.
Yeah, I mean, well, you can see he's covering it. Oh, the fans are getting on Doe's nerves. This could be a mistake right here.
Oh my, Shirley Doe getting a little bit off focus.
Do we have security here? That fan's taking his life into his own hands right now.
But that momentary lapse in concentration allowed Ray Rowe to come back.
I mean, Shirley, you're talking to the man who was nuts before. Shirley Doe was certifiably crazy for his entire career. Yeah. Now have you ever have you ever, like, seen an injured dog and you taunt an injured dog? And it oh my God.
Oh my God. German suplex on the floor. Doe had no way to protect his spine and his neck and the back of his head from hitting this hard basketball-style floor with only an ultra-thin layer of padding.
At this point, Rowe just needs to get back to the ring for the 10 count. But oh my God, there's not going to be the referee is Stephen Coulter.
Certainly if Shirley Doe is still breathing, this matchup is not going to end in Ray Rowe's favor.
contest, 15 minutes remain.
And you see how gingerly Rowe got up, favoring his own back, and he was the man administering the move. Imagine the pain coursing through the body of Shirley Doe at this very moment.
Doe is up.
It's certainly looking the worse for wear, not walking very well at all.
It's one of the toughest men I've ever met in my life. Both of them.
No argument there. Oh, he was going to suplex him off the apron, but Shirley Doe hooks himself in between the ropes, elbows his way right to the temple, elbows out. Oh, DDT drops Rowe on the corner of that apron. That's metal and wood. Rowe collided with head first.
Oh, now Steven counts. Like there's any way he's going to double count out Shirley Doe.
Well, if anything, that would increase the odds for HENTAI, but at the same time, that takes the former two-time champion out of the game.
Oh, come on! He's looking at...
Oh.
He looked at the ropes, nodded his head, and then started counting.
Unbelievable. Shirley Doe scaling the ropes now.
Tornado DDT from, or not.
Oh, counter Northern Lights.
I don't know that I've ever seen anyone counter the Tornado DDT quite that way.
Unbelievable how he snaps off these power suplexes. Powerbomb coming up, plants him hard. Look at, went for a pinfall, but Doe traps him in a triangle choke, stretching the arm, the biceps around the neck. Look at Rowe counter. He just flipped 230 pounds over his head. Reckless abandon by Ray Rowe. And look at the determination. Charging through with a forearm shot. I was about to mention how Shirley Doe is the only man in this tournament with prior experience in an IWC Heavyweight Title Tournament, but even that may not help him now. Oh, but Doe puts the brakes on Rowe. Able to counter the charge.
Oh, I've never seen him do this. Tarantula from Shirley Doe.
That stretches out the entire body around the ring cable. Certainly only legal for 5 seconds, but not a problem when you got Steven Coulter in there. Look out, Rowe gonna trip him up.
We're about to see air Doe. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Look out here. Oh, Northern Lights from the top.
If it wasn't enough for
Coulter's got no choice. Two.
Come on.
He can't. How long can the man stall? How long can he stall? This is ridiculous. What a bunch of chicanery.
That's more than. I don't think I could say what it is. It's not.
That was 3 if it was 1.
It was 10. You're talking about.
Look out. Belly to belly for Coulter. Now look at Doe. Look at Doe. Don't you dare it. Like, oh, thank God. Thank God. Rowe kicked out before the fast count hit 3. Doe and Coulter in collusion again. Magic bullet. Rowe counters. Oh no. Dragon suplex right on the neck.
He's got to be done. He's missing an eye. Northern Lights suplex from the top rope from Ray Rowe.
Cross face. No way for Coulter to cheat Rowe now.
He's going to tap out. He's going to tap out. There's no way.
Tap.
There's no.
What else? HENTAI. Wait a second. He just handed Coulter a damn towel.
Well, I thought HENTAI was going to throw the towel in. What the? Wait a minute. I thought he was going to.
Wait a second. What did Coulter pour on that rag? Oh, no.
Oh, come on.
I remember this from HENTAI's past. It's the damn ether-soaked rag.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, come on.
No. He just put ether or alcohol or something.
Okay, there are like 18 reasons why he should be disqualified right now.
Look at this.
Oh, come on.
This
oh, for...
A submit.
Oh, come on.
Damn it to hell.
Oh,
what was that? What was that? The most orchestrated.
Your winner and advancing to the semifinals, Shirley Doe.
The most orchestrated, contrived ending I've ever seen. HENTAI Coulter blatantly can
lifeless Doe putting his grasp around Ray Rowe after he got knocked out with alcohol or ether and call him out of submission. What a damn ripoff. I'm disgusted.
I don't.
Not in a heavyweight title tournament.
No, we have two.
I was in the back, but all these kind people told me what happened. I have bird's eye view of this crap.
Told you got caught red-handed.
Earlier today, we had another decision that was made.
Uh-oh.
And I'd like to introduce to you the new senior official at IWC, Mr. Bryce Radford. Please come out here.
Norm and Bryce were conferring earlier tonight, and Coulter no longer has the power as the top referee here. Bryce Radford in charge.
But Doe's already won. I mean, what happened? It's all well and good for Bryce. I mean, yay, promotion, but.
You have a decision? Would you like to run it now? I think my first decision as the new IWC senior official is going to be to reverse this and disqualify Shirley Doe.
Can he do that?
Bryce is head of the referees. He has that power. Ray Rowe wins as a result of a disqualification reversal decision.
Okay, Ray Rowe wins by DQ.
Oh, look at Doe. Doe trying to choke Norm Connors, trying to attack him. Members of the locker room getting that one-eyed bastard the hell out of here. Shirley Doe's incensed.
Yeah.
Again, Doe got cost the heavyweight title, and I can't say I've ever been happier to see it.
Yeah, but.
You get out of line one more time, and you're fired.
All Coulter's on probation. I love it. Norm Connors, Bryce Remford laying down the law. The Unholy Alliance's BS is not going to work.
Yeah.
And Ray Rowe's in round number 2.
Yeah, but let me point something out to you though, Joe. Yeah, Ray Rowe's in round number 2, but the man's been chemically gassed here.
As a result of the disqualification and advancing to the semi-final round,
I mean, what kind of shape is he in? HENTAI had to buy through the semi-final round.
the following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way through the ring, weighing in at 175 pounds, from Ozone Park, New York, this is Jimmy DeeeeLicious.
Joe Dombrowski here with Jay Worthington Farnsworth, and Farnsworth, as much as I like to touch on where you've been, we got to touch on what's already happened involving Jimmy DeMarco and the Gambino brothers in that tag team title match earlier. Marshall Gambino actually took Jimmy DeMarco's advice, took a chair, used it in a matchup, and Marshall said that Jimmy DeMarco's been right all along. They should be using cheap tactics. They should be cheating. They should be using weapons. So this rift in the Gambino clan continues, but it's taken on a new dynamic with Marshall finally seeing the light as far as what Jimmy DeMarco's been trying to tell them. But I don't know if Mickey's convinced yet.
Well, it's about time he finally wised up.
Introducing his opponent, weighing in at 210 pounds, from Greeley, North Dakota, Vendetta.
And Vendetta wants to talk. Rekindling of an old rivalry from earlier this year from Vendetta's very first appearances here in IWC, but neither man is well liked these days.
Quickly, because I know all you people are getting angry, and I don't want too many message boards and insults hurled my way after the show. You can send all the thank yous for ending Glenn Spector's career to Vendetta at yahoo.com. That's all. That's all.
The thank yous for ending Glenn Spector's career.
Wow, I have missed a lot.
Well, I don't think I would credit Vendetta for putting Glenn Spector out of action. I don't think I'd credit anybody for ending Glenn Spector's career. Certainly that has not been confirmed or decided in any way, shape, or form. Vendetta, of course, faced Glenn Spector at No Excuses 2 last month, and the Unholy Alliance
was responsible for attacking Glenn Spectre after that matchup and targeting Spectre's injured shoulder. Since that time, Spectre also developed an injury to his leg, but we cannot confirm 100% as to whether or not it's related to that matchup or whether it was outside circumstances. So I think Vendetta is making a few presumptuous comments.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that Glenn's gone, and I think it's a big step up for Vendetta. So, good for him on ending Glenn Spectre's career. I mean, I like Glenn and all, but you know, when it's time to hang up the boots, it's time to hang up the boots.
You weren't paying attention to a thing I said, were you?
What?
Glenn Spectre, you got to believe, will be back at some point in the coming weeks and months once he gets 100%. And DeMarco, what in the world? DeMarco certainly having his way with Vendetta, but the power of Vendetta on display. Certainly one of the best conditioned young athletes to come down the pike in quite a while here in the IWC. But Vendetta was the last opponent of Glenn Spectre, and give Vendetta all the credit in the world. He went toe-to-toe with Glenn on 3 separate occasions. Glenn, widely considered perhaps the map master of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Toe-to-toe, Joey retired him.
I don't believe you can credit Vendetta for that, but that remains to be seen. And I hope when Glenn Spectre does come back, you're the first person that he addresses. DeMarco just hurled awkwardly into the corner, and Vendetta able to follow through with those stomps.
At the rate this match is going, there may be a second retirement by the time it's done. He is laying into DeeeeLicious Jimmy DeMarco.
DeMarco spent the majority of the past several months trying to become the mastermind of his cousin's tag team, the Gambino brothers. Certainly trying to mold their attitude, and it seems like slowly but surely he's starting to get them to see their point of view.
It's about time that Marshall wised up.
DeMarco drops down, buries the fingers in the eyes.
He's finally a wise guy.
Oh, backbreaker by Jimmy DeMarco. And certainly DeMarco spent many months saying that the Gambino brothers would just listen to him, they'd still be tag team champions. And now that Marshall agrees with that, it's only a matter of time before either A, Mickey Gambino starts feeling that way, or B, this Gambino family finally goes their separate ways.
Family's family. Blood's thicker than advice. I mean, I don't see what I see happening is the wayward Gambino. Excuse me, choking a little bit there. The wayward Gambino, that of Mickey now, seeing the error of his ways and falling in line, and as he should, really. It's sound advice.
Vendetta caught in a leg grapevine, but able to muscle himself over to the side of the ring, grab the ring rope.
I mean, look at DeeeeLicious Jimmy DeMarco here. He's out-muscled by Vendetta, so he followed a little of the advice. A quick eye poke, boom, he's on top. Look at him. Go into the second row.
Certainly he's practicing what he's preaching. Will that help him? Vendetta, beautiful belly-to-belly overhead suplex. Takes Jimmy DeMarco down. Vendetta, in past meetings with DeMarco, this past spring used a rather dubious pair of brass knuckles to score a couple of victories. Will we see that here tonight? Vendetta using just raw power so far. Sit-out powerbomb. 2-0, but to check out the amount of time Vendetta was able to hold DeMarco up on his shoulders like that.
A decent amount of power for the young kid. And I mean, he really has a career ahead of him. He's already retired Glenn Spectre. He's on his way to kicking the living hell out of Jimmy DeMarco. I mean,
Vendetta a little upset with our newly appointed senior referee, Bryce Remsburg. He certainly laid down the law earlier tonight in that Raymond Rowe Shirley Doe match, reversing that decision. And both men, as we mentioned, not well liked by these fans, not well liked in life. They both went for one of those cheap tactics. They both paid for it.
Hey, and look how well it worked. They're both laying there counting the lights.
DeMarco back to his feet first. Vendetta still the worse for wear.
Well, DeeeeLicious Jimmy DeMarco does have a slightly wider foot, so.
Hangs on to the vertical suplex. Vendetta fights his way out and just muscles him back into the corner. Now onto the opposite side. DeMarco wriggles free, up and over into the sunset flip. Can he get a quick 3 count? No. And Vendetta, just more raw power. Powerbomb position, muscles DeMarco's back first into that top turnbuckle.
You know, you smack your spine off of something, you twist a vertebrae, it doesn't just hurt. I mean, it's hard to breathe, it's hard to keep yourself standing upright, it's hard to concentrate. A good use of his power.
This ain't going nowhere. I don't want no more.
He doesn't want any.
I mean, I have to save my energy for all these guys' moms big night too. So, let's end this right now. Let's end this right now.
DeMarco.
Mountain. Not like that. Hey. Use the foot.
Use the foot. DeMarco's laying down for Vendetta. He's saying use the foot. 1 foot pin, 3 count. Why did he do that? DeMarco's tired of fighting Vendetta. He wants to be his friend. Give me a break. What did we just see, Farnsworth?
Apparently, you know when to cut your losses, I guess? I mean, maybe he's afraid he's going to end up in the retirement home with Glenn Spector.
Oh, Glenn Spector's not retired, but more abnormal behavior from Jimmy DeMarco, as I guess keeping his friends close and his enemies closer. DeMarco wants to be Vendetta's friend, but Vendetta doesn't look like he wants any part of Jimmy DeMarco. Well, here comes a man who...
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to the ring, a member of the Unholy Alliance, and cruising his way to the finals, HENTAI!
HENTAI defeated Troy Lords in round number 1, was set to meet the winner of John McChesney versus Altar Boy Luke, but a 20-minute time limit draw means he apparently gets a bye.
Referee Stephen Coulter took it in his hands to alter the finish of your match with Troy Lords.
Very true.
I'm all about evening up things. I think we're going to have, you're not going to get a bye to the finals, I'm sorry.
He's got to wrestle somebody who?
Because I decided to give somebody a bye to the semifinals. Please, if you would, get his music.
Oh my! Norm Connors fighting fire with fire. HENTAI thought he'd cruise into the finals, but now he must come face to face with a walking Rottweiler.
Well, let's, I want to get angry, but this is the same notorious stuff that Norm Connors has done all along. He goes and he puts a sword into the match to get Shirley Doe to quit 2 months ago, and now he just rearranges everything and puts a goddamn killing machine against a competitor like that. It's not right, Joe, and you know it.
Helping HENTAI pin Troy Lords, notorious. Give me a break. Low Key is here, and this could be the most hard-hitting matchup of the entire tournament. A man that packs a hell of a punch in HENTAI against perhaps the best pure striker in wrestling today, Low Key. And notice senior referee Bryce Remsburg watching Stephen Coulter's job in the ring. Bryce has the power to overturn any of Coulter's decisions that don't look on the up and up.
No comment. What I will say is HENTAI is staying on Low Low-Ki.
Watch Low-Ki walk off that chop. HENTAI hit Low-Ki with one of the damnedest chops I've ever heard, and Low-Ki walked it off.
Low-Ki looked to counter, and HENTAI put a boot in his gut. A great counter.
Very true. Not going to give Low-Ki that extra breathing on Low-Ki, a former Super Indy champion, a participant of the very first Super Indy tournament here in IWC. The current reigning TNA X Division champion under his alias Senshi. Low-Ki very, very successful, but will he be so against HENTAI? It will not be easy.
Is a match with Low-Ki ever easy? Ever?
Certainly not. Nor is a match with HENTAI. As HENTAI charges with the double knees into the corner, follow through, open hand thrust right to the chest. HENTAI going for the cover. Coulter all but overjoyed to run over and try to make a cover.
Barely got a 1 count.
HENTAI, the last bit of hope in this tournament for the Unholy Alliance to reclaim the heavyweight championship, and certainly if they do on this broadcast, will sway the balance of power back into the favor of the Unholy Alliance. They will have the leverage, they will have the power that comes with being top dog in the organization. But listen to the artillery of Low-Ki unloading. But check out HENTAI not backing down either. HENTAI, much like we've seen John McChesney do, taking each shot and coming back for more.
HENTAI is a killer competitor. I don't mean to underestimate him by referring to Low-Ki as a killing machine. If there's anyone in that locker room that can take Low-Ki the distance, it's HENTAI. And so far, he's done a great job of it.
Oh. Hangs onto the ropes, and can you believe those knife-edge chops?
Those chops are actually making me a little nauseous.
I don't blame you. Nobody rifles off a faster strike than Low-Ki, Senshi, whatever you want to call him.
Normally I would say I do, but I'm not even gonna tempt him to try and challenge me.
Exactly right. European style uppercuts by HENTAI. HENTAI, as we mentioned, the longest reigning Super Indy champion in company history, now looking to become one of only 2 men prior to have held both the IWC heavyweight and Super Indy titles in their career. And HENTAI, what do you think Farnsworth, just as, if not more impactful than what Low-Ki's dishing out?
He is laying him in there. Oh!
Title crotch, springboard off the rope, hits that cartwheel kick. And Low-Ki poised, ready to strike again as soon as HENTAI walked into striking range. Oh, rapid fire coming up. Low-Ki quickens the pace of the chops. Here he goes. I had to have about 20 chops in the span of 10 seconds. Low-Ki with a whip. HENTAI reverses, but Low-Ki with a hard forearm sends HENTAI down.
Not
Watch
good.
the kick.
Not good.
Oh, God. You can hear the echo as it reverberated through HENTAI's body. A second time. You can see those kicks connect. Full force! Oh, that was right in the butt of the jaw. HENTAI's got to be unconscious.
HENTAI only has half his teeth left at this point.
Low-Ki, I'll tell you this. Oh, title crush coming up now in the corner. Connect. Low-Ki knows all about the Unholy Alliance.
25 minutes remain.
Going for the key crusher. Key crusher, 99. Drops him. Coulter has to count. Bryce is watching, and Low-Ki wins.
A completely unfair matchup.
We thought Low-Ki might have been unable to appear here tonight, but instead a bye to the semifinals, evening the odds with HENTAI after the way he won his quarterfinal round matchup. And just like that, the Unholy Alliance's dreams of getting a stranglehold around that title again are literally crushed.
All I'm gonna say is, we've watched John McChesney train for months to face this man and still come up on the short end. To give HENTAI a minute of preparation just shows the types of shenanigans that Norm Connors is willing to pull.
Well, I will give you...
The following semi-final round match in the championship tournament is scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing once again, weighing in at 203 pounds, Reyes!
Reyes advanced over Sterling James Keenan. One thing that must be put into question is how much Reyes has left. He left that matchup heavily favoring his back after being on the recipient of an elevated lung blower. Reyes was crushed on the second turnbuckle and was dropped at a hard angle on both of Sterling's knees. What condition is that going to play in this contest? Was almost superhuman, but so far he's surpassed even my expectations, scoring the winning fall in a 4-team elimination matchup, defeating the greatest, longest reigning IWC champion of all time, Shirley Doe, and now coming back from an ether-soaked rag. This guy was knocked unconscious just about a half hour, 40 minutes ago, and he's back to fight.
He looked a little woozy backstage. That explains it.
And you see right now, still blinking, trying to get full mobility back in his system. He was not completely cold, thanks to HENTAI and a rag doused with something.
So what we're looking at is two competitors, neither at 100% right now.
And it was in the first round that I made the remark that if there was anybody who could compete with Reyes on a mixed martial arts / submission type style, it's Raymond Rowe. And right now, we're putting that to the test right now. Perhaps the two men I'd least want to meet in a dark alley, Raymond Rowe and Ricky Reyes, two very surly, very focused wrestlers.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Raymond Rowe's a teddy bear. He's a nice guy.
This man suplexed. Wait a second, look at Reyes. Power Reyes. Rowe's about 250 himself. Got muscle over with a double arm suplex. Second cover now. Reyes just trying to exert that energy out of Rowe's body. Rowe still less than 100%. Reyes trying to make Rowe woozy and weak once again, but you missed Rowe go on a suplex spree. About 6 or 7 straight suplexes. More than one of them was delivered to the 280-plus pound Marshall Gambino in overhead style, much like this, belly to belly.
Wow. Yeah. It behooves
cover and no.
It behooves Reyes to finish this as quick as possible, because the longer Rowe's on his feet moving around, the quicker he's going to get the ether worked out of his system. And once he wakes up, well, he might not be such a teddy bear.
Hard forearm shot, but Reyes meets him shot for shot. Mid-ring exchange, neither man backing down. Rowe gonna charge in, but Reyes meets him with a high knee. And you know, J-Rocc, as Reyes goes to the cover 2 and no. I have seen a lot of men claim to be masters of the suplex over the years, but I have never seen a man physically throw another human being as far as Raymond Rowe throws his opponents.
I have watched Raymond Rowe do suplexes that I didn't think were actually obeying the laws of physics.
So I'm right there with you. He is one of the most powerful competitors in IWC today, and Reyes would be smart to finish him off ASAP.
Especially considering Reyes is potentially weakened back. We haven't seen any adverse effects of it so far in this contest, but you have to believe if any part of Reyes is being favored, it's got to be that back area. Especially with Rowe and his high-impact suplexes. Side slam coming up. Rowe scoops Reyes up and drives him down right on that back. And here will be the telltale sign to see if Reyes favors that part of the body any more so than usual. Covers, deep hook, but no.
Am I correct that the winner of this gets the title shot? What have I missed?
The winner of this matchup will go to the finals to face Low Key. And can you imagine what a hard-hitting exchange that's going to be?
So we could be seeing Ray Rowe versus Low Key, or a facing off of the Rottweilers.
That's very true. And Ray Rowe looks to be slowly but surely gaining his full equilibrium. And as you mentioned so astutely, the longer this matchup has gone, the better Ray Rowe has looked. Rowe now into the ropes, drops an elbow. Lateral press. Only a count of 2, says the senior referee Bryce Remsburg, the law of the land when it comes to the Zebras. Gotta wonder, whoa, look at Reyes. Trying to take off the vertical base of Rowe.
Oh no.
Captures him. Overhead suplex one more time. Captures the head and the leg. You've got to wonder what these men's individual strategies are for this matchup. Certainly, each man knows right now that if they win, what a prize. They get to step into the ring with Low Key. How much do they conserve? How much do they expend now? Overhead T-bone by Ray Rowe. Deep hook and a kick out.
You asked the question, how much do they expend now? However, really, you don't. At no point do you say I gotta hold some back, because if you don't get through this match, Joe, then there is no match for which you're using your savings. You have to give it 100%, because if you don't get through this match, there's nothing else.
Oh, wait a second. Rowe attempted that dragon suplex.
In this contest, 25 minutes remain.
Reyes can't look out. Sherman takes him down. Think about this, Farnsworth. Rowe is 2 wins away from being a dual champion here in the IWC. A crossface. Shirley Doe was within a heartbeat of tapping out to this, and I've never seen Shirley Doe tap out in my life.
Did he tap out?
He did not.
Point made.
But does Reyes have enough to hold on with the torque on that lower back after what Sterling did to it in the quarterfinal? This exploits Reyes' weakened body part. Rowe has an advantage here than he did, more so than he did against Shirley Doe. Reyes tried to roll through. All he did was move his own body away from the rope.
And right into center ring.
It's so tough to break the grasp of Ray Rowe. Damn near impossible. But Reyes, he may be underneath the rope. Bryce Remsburg finally detects Reyes has the foot on the rope. And Rowe.
Smart move by Rowe, putting 4.5 of that 5 count to good use.
That's right, came within a hair of being disqualified. With Bryce Remsburg's newfound power, might not be the best idea to test his limits tonight. But regardless, this matchup still continuing. And Reyes having a hard time standing right now. So you can see the damage was done. Chaos Theory, no. Attempts to O'Connor roll. Oh, right into the choke. No! Instantaneously, it's going to be over. Alex Shelley tapped out in a matter of seconds at Super Indy 5, and he's one of the toughest competitors in the world.
He's out.
And Rowe didn't have enough energy left to fight it.
By submission, and advancing to the finals of the championship tournament, Reyes.
Well, kids, we got a dogfight coming up.
Much like I said earlier tonight, Reyes pick up the victory here. Ryan Remsburg looks like we may have an injury though. Reyes rolling around very, very gingerly. Rowe is still one out of the tag team champion, but does Reyes have anything left?
Worse yet, does Reyes have anything left when he crawls in the ring against Low Key?
But like I said earlier tonight, once that Dragon Sleeper sinks in, it's only a matter of seconds before you pass out, tap out, or risk long-term damage. In this case, Rowe passed out. Assist to that drag earlier on, but that lethal Dragon Sleeper, that instantaneous lights out for Ray Rowe. The only thing I've seen stop Ray Rowe since entering IWC. Sebastian Dark. Dark picked a fight with referee CJ Sensation many, many times over the past few months, and a man has a breaking point, and Dark found CJ.
Oh, and make no mistake.
It's scheduled for one fall. Introducing to you first, a member of the Unholy Alliance, weighing in at 232 pounds, from Kilgore Hills, North Carolina, the bastard son of 1,000 corpse, Sebastian Dark.
And once again, senior referee Bryce Remsburg intently watching Coulter. Coulter cannot be trusted to be fair and impartial while a member of the Unholy Alliance is in the ring.
How can Bryce Remsburg be fair and impartial and see anything when he has his nose so far up the tuchus of Norm Connors?
Oh, stop it. Bryce Remsburg is among the best referees you'll find anywhere. And Coulter getting rid of Dark's powder so far, so Bryce leaves, and he sends his stooge Coulter back under the ring to fetch it.
I don't know what you're talking about. And where'd he go? Back to the Lollipop Guild?
Stop that.
Look, all I'm saying is I've seen Sebastian Dark mess up a case of beer. Saying, I've seen Sebastian Dark mess up a case of beer, and he likes beer. He doesn't like CJ. CJ hasn't been wrestling. CJ's a ref.
CJ Sensation has not wrestled in an IWC ring in 4 years. A man who broke his neck in a professional wrestling and then switched from wrestling to refereeing under doctor's orders for his own personal safety. But Sebastian Dark is such a damn annoying human being. CJ gonna risk life and limb! Dear God, somersault plancha. CJ putting it all on the line for himself, for the IWC company, to teach Dark a lesson.
Yeah, someone may want to remind him that he had a broken neck. Jumping out of the ring may not be the best idea for an old snapshot there.
Dark has driven Sensation over the edge. CJ Sensation dove off of the top of a 15-foot high cage on top of the Unholy Alliance last month. CJ Sensation broke his hand, I repeat, broke his hand punching Sebastian Dark in the face.
You know what I call that? Sissy.
That is how much contempt that CJ Sensation has for the Unholy Alliance, and specifically the guy that's been bullying him for months on end, Sebastian Dark. And CJ Sensation returning now for his first matchup at all in a wrestling ring in over 3 years. You've got to wonder what kind of shape he's in. You know he's got the heart. You know he's got the motivation. But what kind of ring rust does CJ Sensation have?
Let me sum that up for you viewers.
Oh, no, neck breaker!
Oh, no! Oh, the guy with the bad neck was dumb enough to step into the ring with Sebastian Dark.
Oh, stop. That's disgusting. The man has to earn a living. He has a livelihood.
Yeah, he had a livelihood as a referee. He was the dumb guy who put on his Easter shorts and got in there.
Oh, no.
When you go into that ring, it's either tape your fists or slit your wrists, to quote Kingdom James.
No, when you have an entire alliance and a crooked referee against you, getting you banned from officiating, the only thing left to do is to fight for your cause.
Well,
power powerbomb.
He has to fight for his cause with a bad neck.
2 and Sensation kicks out.
I'm sorry, did I hear anyone calling for pity when they were stabbing Shirley Doe in the head?
Oh, he had it coming. Get out of here.
And he doesn't?
Snapshot CJ Sensation just fighting for what he believes in. And was provoked physically and verbally many times by Sebastian Dark. And you can tell Dark just by what he's wearing. He's not here to wrestle. He is here to end this man's career once and for all. Yeah. Double cross body both men down.
I hate to tell you this, that's nothing new. Sebastian Dark never stepped into the ring and said, I'm going to show you some great technical prowess. He said, I'm going to step into this ring and hurt some people. And if you're dumb enough to be in the ring with me, you're not dressed like a zebra, you're in trouble. Well, now CJ Sensation's remembering why he got out of wrestling in the first place. It hurts.
That's very, very true. And did you see that?
No.
Coulter just kicked Sensation down. This is the least credible official I've ever seen. Helping Dark with the powder, but it's in Dark's eyes. Yakuza style kick by Sensation. He begins to rally back. Cover, count it, Coulter. Count the fall.
Counter should be disqualifying CJ Sensation for throwing powder in Dark's eyes.
Oh, stuff. Low blow.
He should be thrown out of IWC for the low blow.
Coulter thrown into Dark.
No!
Dark can't see. He thinks it's CJ. DNR. Do not resuscitate. Dark 1, 2. That obviously didn't count. Dark thinks it's CJ. He just laid out his own man with a DNR. And he still doesn't know. Oh, he just realized. Kick. Watch CJ. Watch CJ. Kidnapper. The kidnapper. Cover.
Who's counting it?
No, Coulter.
Oh, no, wait. He already let the ref get his ass kicked.
Senior referee, Bryce Remsburg, taking charge. No, 2. Near fall. Dark kicks out of the kidnapper. CJ's pet move. Bryce rolls the trash out of the ring while this match continues.
Well, that was uncalled for. What is it?
Look out. CJ on the top rope. Oh, Dark caught him. Oh, look out. CJ sends him for the ride. Oh, Dark distracting the official. Low blow. DNR to CJ Sensation. The DNR hook. Unfortunately, that's all.
That sweet smell in the air is a victory for Sebastian Dark, the wrestler in the ring. Not the referee, not the munchkin, the wrestler.
Well, am I supposed to be impressed by that? Sebastian Dark, he beat a guy with a hell of a lot of heart, a hell of a lot of determination, but he beat a man in his first match back in 3 years, and he had to take a cheap shot and hit him low to do it.
I'm sorry, no one else took a low blow at all? CJ Sensation took a shortcut with some powder there.
That Sebastian Dark brought into the ring.
Who used it?
CJ used it defensively.
There it is.
Defensively. It was never in the man's hand. CJ Sensation does not want to win like that. But give it up for CJ Sensation. Sebastian Dark, as you would say, defeated someone who doesn't wrestle anymore.
Hey, he doesn't want to win like that. He doesn't win like that. He doesn't have to worry about it because he didn't, Joe.
CJ favoring that neck. Sebastian Dark wins, but give all the credit in the world to CJ Sensation for standing up to Dark and fighting for the company and the principles that he believes in.
Rematch?
We've had a lot of violent and brutal IWC matches before, but this could take the cake.
Weighing in at 230
get to the final round of this tournament, could Reyes score the biggest singles win of his illustrious 8+ year career? As we wait the presence of a man, also with a career that spans 8-some-odd years, also a hard-hitting, no frills, no nonsense attitude, and coincidentally, the frequent former tag team partner and running buddy of the man in the ring right now.
Let's be honest. We're looking at Reyes with a hurt back who had to go through Raymond Rowe and Sterling James Keenan already versus Low Ki.
Weighing at 490 pounds, from Brooklyn, New York,
Low Ki looks fresh as a field of daisies. This may as well be the Low Ki coronation.
We shall see. Low Ki took advantage of the fact that HENTAI had his guard down. HENTAI had cooled down, he calmed down, wasn't anticipating another match. He was out here to just publicly accept his bye. And all of a sudden he was thrust into a matchup with Low Ki. Low Ki pounced, took advantage of the situation at hand, and we have a Low Ki Ricky Reyes final round matchup. So many illustrious names have held the IWC Championship, from Dennis Gregory to Shirley Doe to Colt Cabana, CM Punk, Balls Mahoney, Jimmy Vegas, Sterling James Keenan, of course, among many others. One of these names will be added to that list. At the end of this matchup, I am Joe Dombrowski, joined by Jay Worthington Farnsworth, bringing this main event. This is the International Wrestling Cartel's Boiling Point 2, September 16, 2006, at the Court Time Sports Center in Elizabeth, PA. And both of these men know the high stakes that we are attempting to decide here, as Low Ki just quickly on top of Ricky Reyes, trying to go for a quick takedown, trying to keep Reyes grounded. Quick pinning attempt here, but shoulders not on the mat, as we are now joined by Chuck Roberts to lend his expertise to this final round matchup of Low Ki versus Ricky Reyes. How do you assess this matchup of two very dangerous strikers, Chuck?
Well, certainly when we started earlier here tonight, I would not have guessed that Low Ki would make it right to the semifinals and then here to the finals. But you know what, Joe? This arguably could be probably the two best conditioned athletes in the tournament. Again, that's an arguable statement. I don't want to make any enemies back there. But and this is certainly something that's brand new to the fans. As you can tell, they're kind of watching this. I don't think they exactly know how to take a match like this.
Certainly, Chuck, the advantage would go to Low Ki in the long haul. As you just alluded to Mr. Farnsworth, Low Ki was able to take advantage of HENTAI being caught with his guard down. HENTAI not expecting a semifinal round match, Chuck.
No, he definitely wasn't expecting a semifinal round match, as no one was expecting Low Ki to go right to the semifinals. But as you say here in IWC, and it might be a cliche used in a lot of promotions, but certainly true here, anything can happen and usually does.
But you got to keep in mind, Ricky Reyes dinged his lower back. I don't know if you caught it earlier in the quarterfinal round, Chuck, when Sterling James Keenan delivered that backcracker from the second turnbuckle. And Reyes has been favoring the back ever since. And if Low Ki has scouted that, it leaves a very dangerous body part for Low Ki to capitalize on.
Well, I noticed that in the last two matches, obviously Ray Rowe last and now Low Ki, you watch the angst on the face of Ricky Reyes. He was just trying to get inside the ring. Now that doesn't bode well when you're going for the IWC Championship and you're having a hard time getting inside the ring. And once you get inside the ring, you look across and see Low Ki. What's wrong, Florence? Where the cat got your tongue here?
No, I agree with every long-winded word you had to say, Chuck Roberts.
Farnsworth's problem is nobody in this match bought him off to sway his opinion.
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about.
But you notice the leg strength a moment ago by Low Ki, able to bridge out of that knuckle lock, and now testing Ricky much the same. Ki trying to drop down, get Ricky flat on the mat to get a pinning combination, but Reyes with that neck bridge and the leg strength, keeping low-key away from his shoulders, but finally gets him down.
Joe, I mean, that's got to be pure adrenaline right there in Farnsworth. That's got to be adrenaline. We just talked about the injured back of Reyes, and he held a bridge for what looked to be a good 45 seconds.
He held a bridge while getting a kick dang close to the mommy-daddy button. That would have had me curled up in like a little baby crying.
Quick drop toe hold.
First, you'd have to really have somebody to want to touch your mommy and daddy button, but we won't go there, Farnsworth.
Speaking of which, tell your mom I said hi, Chuck.
Oh, that's enough.
Oh,
Come
that's
on,
yeah.
Business.
We've crossed that line as much as we should.
You know, another thing, Joe, I don't know if you had a chance at intermission to talk to Ricky Reyes. It's difficult to see, but if you come close, there is a swollen gash on the back of Ricky Reyes. I'm not exactly sure when that gash, you know, how it happened or where. I don't know if it was from the ropes or the turnbuckle in his previous 2 matches. But it's pretty visible if you get up close to him, and that certainly can't help his back any.
Check out Low-Ki. Spin out of the attempt at the cross arm breaker. First clasp his hands together, so Reyes could not hyperextend the elbow, and now with a leg grapevine, Low-Ki seamlessly counters that attempted submission hold.
He wasn't able to quite get his legs locked in, so he didn't get it locked quite like he wanted, and Reyes working his way out of it. Look at that.
Reyes just gets his body on top of Low-Ki, but Low-Ki using that neck strength again to bridge up and out.
And now we have a
cravat. Trying to weaken those neck muscles of Low-Ki. Certainly Low-Ki's biggest strength in this matchup in fighting Reyes' strategy has been the muscles in Low-Ki's neck.
And if you'll notice here right now, what Ricky Reyes is trying to do, as you can see, he certainly wants to slow it down because every time he gets to put on a submission maneuver of sorts, he gets a chance to rest. I mean, I can't imagine being in there one time, and this guy's in there his 3rd time.
Very true. This is Reyes' 3rd match to Low-Ki's 2nd, and Low-Ki certainly, no offense to HENTAI, but as we said, he was unprepared. Low-Ki had a little bit of an easier go than Reyes had against Sterling or against Rowe. So endurance goes to Low-Ki.
Well, if anyone's prepared to fight Low-Ki, it's Reyes. These two gentlemen have a background. There's not a feeling out period here. They know what each other's capable of.
Hard twisting elbow cover, and only count of 1 that time, guys.
This is almost one of those matches that really, to get a win here, you're looking for a mistake by the other guy. I really think that's what they're going for. I think it's a defensive type match. Having seen so many, they're just looking for an opening and ready to counter on a mistake here, because just as Farnsworth, as you did say, and you are right, they almost know exactly what each other's going to do.
Well, the way I look at it, Low-Ki already knows where that weak spot is. And even if he can't get to the back, he can make a weak spot with...
And he just got there.
With those chops, but he doesn't need to if he kicks him right in the back.
Low-Ki rolls him over for the cover, 2 count, says senior referee Bryce Remsburg.
I think Reyes spit out a bit of vertebrae there. Good Lord.
And I'm sorry, Joe. I was just going to make a little bit of a comparison too here. You know, what's interesting is to see the difference between the championship tournament here at Boiling Point and our Super Indy tournaments. As you can kind of see the wear and tear in later rounds here that oftentimes you don't see in the Super Indies. And I don't want to suggest it means better condition, but here with the championship tournament, it's more heavyweights. You know, endurance does play a factor in the regimen of a Super Indy versus some of these guys. Now, obviously, I recognize, too, that Low-Ki has been in those Super Indy tournaments, but it's kind of interesting to notice the difference in each tournament.
Cover, count of 2. Certainly, both of these men with Super Indy tournament experience here in IWC. Certainly, both men to hearken on the point of looking for a weak spot, know each other very, very well. Running buddies for several years, all across the world as part of the Rottweilers. And Low-Ki cinching in a body.
5 minutes have elapsed in this contest. 40 minutes remain.
Just basically trying to forcibly squeeze all the life and all the oxygen out of Ricky Reyes' body.
As I was saying earlier in the Ray Rowe match, when you hurt your back, it not only does it make it hard to, you know, move, twist, lift, it makes it hard to breathe. And Low-Ki is definitely taking advantage of that, just squeezing the air out of him there.
Farnsworth, you're right. This is one of those nights that you know you got about 5 or 6 guys back in that locker room who aren't going to sleep well tonight at all. And they may not sleep for a whole week.
Quick roll up. Reyes drove up, but low-key kicked out.
Oh, man.
And a cartwheel kick connects. Unbelievable.
Low-key has these, you almost can't predict these unpredictable spurts of energy.
Look out, cover and no.
Like these multiple reserve of energy that he just comes at you like full force. It's like nobody else that I've seen in IWC.
The closest comparison I can make is the Great Muta. You beat on him, you think you're getting the advantage, and all of a sudden, bam, he hits you, and you're laying there taking a 3 count.
No, you're exactly right by there. And I draw another comparison too, as they used to say, if we're kind of throwing back to yesterday and some wrestlers like a Greg Valentine, the longer the match goes, the better he gets. And that definitely, you're right, Farnsworth, that definitely is low-key.
Low-key unloading with sharp kicks now in the corner. And just breaking the boots across the eyes and forehead of Reyes. And as you mentioned, Chuck, at the top of the segment, 45 minutes time limit in this championship matchup. Doing a kick out. Gotta wonder exactly what the verdict would be should this go the time.
Well, I don't know. It's like the difference between the U.S. Open and the Masters. You go into extra holes if you're at the Masters, and at the U.S. Open you go another 18. Who knows what's going to happen? Are we going to have another match, or are we going to get 5 more minutes? Who knows?
Reyes had a deep crotch on low-key, tried to muscle him up for perhaps a suplex, and low-key cinches in a Fujiwara-style arm breaker. 2, 3, Bryce getting, if he gets to 5, low-key's disqualified. Reyes got to the ropes.
And I don't know if it's by design here or assignment, Farnsworth, and I know you're probably disappointed, but I'm very happy that senior official Bryce Remsburg has this match. Although, judging from what just happened earlier on against CJ Sensation and Sebastian.
Double arm suplex pin, beautiful bridge, Reyes escaped.
I don't think Coulter could have handled this match much.
I disagree with you 100%. And the fact that they had to bring the Lollipop Guild in to referee this just shows you what kind of crackerjack organization this has become.
Well, don't forget this is the crackerjack organization that signs your checks, so don't forget that.
Low-key.
I've made my wealth independently, friend.
Suplex counter.
The payment that I get here is just a token, so.
Reyes ducks underneath low-key. Both men went for a spinning back kick. Both men connect with glancing blows, but Reyes quicker to pursue the advantage and hits that neck breaker.
This is almost, guys, this is almost like watching a Japanese crowd where they're, they sit respectfully, just kind of watching, waiting to see that next big maneuver, something that's going to pop these people up on their feet. But as I said earlier, in a match like this, who knows? That might not happen. An inside cradle could win this.
That's very true. We saw Reyes use similar tactics to upset Sterling out of nowhere in the quarterfinals. As he drops low-key to that body drop, now gets that overhead suplex he was looking for a moment ago, hook of the leg, but only a count of 2.
And one has to wonder, perhaps Reyes is selling the back a little more than he's actually injured. He hit those suplexes pretty well. He's still standing on it. Perhaps he had a bit of a fake there, a bit of faking a tell. Would that be the correct terminology?
Perhaps could be working on adrenaline, as you mentioned earlier, Chuck. The elbows his way out of the power. Ghetto stomp drives all the wind out of Reyes' body.
Farnsworth, what you're trying to say, and you're trying to blanket it with your own lingo, is you're trying to suggest he might be gold bricking, is what you're basically trying to say.
No. I'm saying he's not really as injured as he's making it look.
That's gold bricking.
No. Never mind, Chuck.
All right, well, whatever.
Both men trying to recover from that last sequence. Low-key, of course, a former Super Indy champion. Wants to become one of only 2 men in prior times to hold both the heavyweight and Super Indy titles in their career, and certainly well on his way to doing that right now with firm control of Reyes. But what would it mean for Reyes' career? Certainly got to be considered the biggest singles win of his career if he defeats Low-key, especially for the IWC heavyweight title.
I agree with you 100% right here. You could see.
Wait a second, key crusher attempt. That's how he beat HENTAI in the semifinals. Wait, there's that inside cradle. Inside cradle, no! Low-key kicks out.
Trust me, I'm not Kreskin here, but that's what I was talking about.
you know, just an inside cradle could win this thing. I mean, it could be anything.
And you also have to mention that sick dragon sleeper of Reyes. We've seen every time he's put that on, the victim has either tapped out or passed out in a matter of seconds. And you gotta wonder what would happen if low-key vaulting drop kick sends Reyes back into the corner. What would happen if Barnesworth, if Low-Key is in that Dragon Sleeper, how's that going to differentiate from a normal matchup? Because Low-Key perfects that move as well.
Well, I got to be honest with you. We've seen the track record on it. I got to go with the math. I say Low-Key taps out or passes out or risks injury, as you stated.
Low-Key, ghetto stomp.
Oh!
He won many a match in IWC, but with that before, looks like he might have rolled his ankle on it though. Look out! Spinning powerbomb. He's got the sleeper.
That's it.
Dragon
it's
sleeper.
Over. It's over.
He's got the body lock.
He has it hooked.
Cinched in full. Can Low-Key hang on? Nobody has yet.
But wait a minute. Reyes' shoulders are down.
No.
Low-Key bridged up one more time and got Reyes' shoulders down for a split-second brilliant counter, but it did not work for 3.
He could be in this way too long. If Low-Key can't get to a rope, Joe, this one could be over.
Already, this is the longest anybody has withstood the Dragon Sleeper without passing out or giving in.
I think the only thing right now that could go in favor of Low-Key right now is the 250-plus fans here in attendance.
Can Low-Key counter the uncounterable? He is fading. His arm is slowly dropping.
Reyes' arm is right where it needs to be, right under the chin. He has it hooked. Perfect. There's the count!
Low-Key barely had enough left in him, but he had to tap out or he was done.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the championship tournament and new IWC champion, Reyes.
Joe, I thought it was lamb to the slaughter, an injured Reyes versus a fresh-looking Key, and I got to give it to Reyes. He earned that 10 pounds of gold by going through a hell of a list of competitors.
Absolutely right. You can see Low-Key's arm slowly fade, and with that arm, also went his title aspirations with his last bit of energy before blacking out. Low-Key tapped out and admitted to Reyes on this night Ricky Reyes was the better man.
You have to wonder now, though, the Unholy Alliance has to be paying attention. You don't think they're just going to let that belt go. Ricky Reyes has a hell of a fight ahead of him as well.
Absolutely right. But Ricky Reyes now has his time to celebrate as reigning heavyweight champion of the IWC. Biggest win of his singles career. Reyes is on top of this mountain, Barnesworth. Unbelievable tournament, unbelievable night of action. Mr. Barnesworth, I know you weren't around for all of it, but the second half that you were here for, certainly you must have glowing reviews.
Absolutely stellar performance by all the competitors. I especially have to give it up to HENTAI, who in the face of, who walked into a virtual unknown and gave a great match. Despite getting a L in the column there instead of a W.
Richard Reyes, you can see the emotion on his face. A man who is always in the ring, cold, calculated, and heartless. You can see the emotion and also the pain from not only his back, but those ribs as well, thanks to the ghetto stomp. You can see it on his face. And check this out, Low-Key still in the ring.
A great win by Reyes, a great match by Low-Key, and a great win by Sebastian Dark, I just wanted to say. But great wins all around tonight, especially Sebastian Dark.
Are we going to see a showing of respect to the oftentimes allies who were rivals on this night? Low-Key takes the belt. What's going to happen here? Low-Key, very professional,
a very honorable individual doing what's right. Officially presenting Ricky Reyes with the IWC Championship belt. Low-Ki resumes his alter ego as Senshi and TNA as X Division champion. But right now the story, the ultimate prize, is the IWC title, a bow of respect. Another handshake. Low-Ki admits on this night Reyes was indeed the better man. For Jay Worthington Farnsworth, this is Joe Dombrowski. What a hellacious night. What an unforgettable tournament. In the end, the Atlanta Pitbull, the Rottweiler, Ricky Reyes, your new IWC champion.
IWC